The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, Nude Clan Gaming Podcast.
Shall we play a game?
That bitch. Fucking Miranda.
You got several things to do. You got work, kids in school. What do you do when it's all over?
How do you hand something from one player to another?
Dark soul lies. So turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast that loves waiting on Schweiss to review games. I'm your host, Caleb Schweiss. I'm Zach.
I'm Joe. I was the last one to play this one. Okay.
I'll explain it.
I'm A4.
Yeah, he'll explain it. And today, guys, if you're illiterate and didn't see the name of the episode, Resident Evil 8. We're gonna
Fucking
read-
it's about
fucking time. I've been Resident
wanting to review this
Evil
so
8.
long.
I remember when the trailer came out and people were like, Jake sent me a picture of like them making Village out of the 8, and he was like, LOL, look at the people online. And I was like, I think that actually looks cool, and I think that's actually what it's going to be.
Yeah,
and then
dude.
a month later it was. I was like, look, it was actually leaked. Because they like to fuck around with that.
Well, it
you
was
know?
like, what is it, like a couple years ago, 3 years ago, like when they started like rumors coming out, like, yeah, it was like, oh, werewolves and witches and all this stuff. And it's like, fuck you, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of hope so. Like,
It's like the ending to the ending to that fucking I Am Legend book, because the book they're not really they're like vampires, and in the movie they're like vampire zombies. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the book it's like they're vampires and you're killing. It's really cool. The book is like awesome. Like you're basically, in their eyes, you're like a mass murderer and you're killing off all their people, and then they hold a trial for you and they kill you. But then the rest of the book is all these weird like witch stories and like
Well,
all
then
this
now I don't have to
voodoo
read
shit.
the fucking book. Because
Yeah, now it's ruined.
Yeah, that 6-year-old book or however.
It's like an 80-year-old book, but it's fucking old.
I still thought about reading it.
Actually, I saw the one with Vincent Price. I saw that adaptation before I saw the Will Smith one.
Oh,
Like
really?
it was on a set, like a double feature set of Night of the Living Dead and then The Last Man on Earth, and it was in one thing.
Oh, those other two are really good. I don't know about that. I didn't see
Last
the
Man
Vincent
on Earth, I
Price.
remember liking it a lot. I haven't seen it since I was a teenager.
Oh, I'm thinking of The Day the Earth Stood Still. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That one's awesome. But no, it reminds me of that, this Resident Evil, because it's just like, fuck it. We got the zombies, we got the fucking vampires, we got the witches, we got the fucking nasty
We got
stands.
the whole
Then it
Universal
explains
Monsters
everything later, and it's
pantheon
nice.
in this game.
We got the nasty bitches who don't want any fresh air.
We
It
got the
just-
Techromancer.
It just smells like mega puss in this house.
Punk
A
weirdo.
lot of screaming. You have an inside-out baby, which
Very scary.
traumatizingly scary.
We're going to
level's
spoil the shit out of this game, by
fuck
the
out of
way.
me.
So, if you haven't played it yet.
I was kind of fucked up by that.
I was
Yeah,
legitimately.
same. So hey, here's the thing. There's two things I hate in horror movies. One is I hate porcelain dolls in real life. I can't fucking stand dolls. I think they're creepy as hell. And two, when there's like a baby cry, fucks me up in horror movies. That level has
And this
both.
section has both.
I was like, I don't think I honestly sat there. I'm like, I don't think I can beat this game.
Oh, that is that whole section.
Like,
is
I
baby
sat there and
and
I was
porcelain
like-
doll.
I was like, I think I'm actually scared.
Dude,
of this
I
game.
was scared. I texted twice. I was like, "This is actually freaking me out." Like, dude, it was when I started that level. I was like, when I first saw the baby around the corner, I'm like, "Oh my god!"
So you know what though? Like it was revenge for me because
I have not been that scared,
dude.
since Hereditary. I think was the last time I was that scared. I was just like,
Fucking Branny kept talking it up, and he was making me anxious. Like I was getting anxiety. I'm like, shut the fuck up. But so at work, like our lights like turn off and on, and so sometimes I've hidden our attic when it was dark. And I knew someone else was coming up, and I'd be like, like in the dark. And that did. I was like, fuck this level, dude. I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Were we on call with you when you were in that section?
Yeah, you heard me scream. Like I yelled. I was like, "Oh!"
I've never been that scared by a video game.
Yeah, I don't think this game overall is that
Ever.
scary, but that one part
that one level is fucking
extremely
terrifying.
Like, no, so
also, Konami, because I know you're listening, you don't have to make PT anymore. It's okay. Capcom did it for you.
dude, I had to spoil that section for myself for a little bit, but I only read the first paragraph. So I'm like, oh, it chases you, and it's like, and it goes away. I'm like, badass. So I didn't know that it comes back a second time. Yeah. So I'm like walking up the stairs, and I'm like, holy shit! And I like turned around, and I ran. And like, so my girlfriend was like FaceTiming me, and she sees me go, like, just stroke out. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, I can't.
You're like, babe, we're never having kids. Ever.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, you eat every fetus. Like,
God.
You yeetus the fetus.
yeah, dude. Like, the only time I've like been like scared before that wasn't a game. It was Resident Evil 2, and I was playing like the remake, right? Like, had all my lights off, like I was playing it. I was so focused on the game, I didn't hear my mom walk into my room, so my like door was open, and she walked in to talk to me, and I'm like playing, and I just get this tap on my shoulder, and I go, Jesus fucking Christ, and I throw my controller, and my dog's like barking, and my mom's like, what's going on? I was like, dude,
Corey walked in on me while I'm in House Beneviento in this part. And she's just like, what's wrong? Why do you look so freaked out? I'm like, the baby.
the baby.
I know. I regret playing this during the day, but I was still pretty freaked out by it.
The first time I got there, I had to shut it off, and I was like, I can't. Brandon's like, you're being a pussy. And I was like, fuck you. I can't. I'm not playing this right now. Like, I need to stop.
God.
Shut up. You're gay. You're never going to have a kid.
That's been the fight, but we found out he was a surrogate dad. He's got a daughter.
Branny?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's really weird.
Oh.
He was a surrogate for two lesbians that asked him if they could.
You know what? I asked Alex if she would be okay with that, and she told me no. I was like, what? I mean, admittedly, the person who I was talking to, like, suggesting that she did ask me that one time as a joke. I was like, she is married to a dude now. But I'm like, yeah, but he's not me, so.
Yeah.
You're like,
She wants my child.
She wants my kid. I just don't want to do
it doesn't count if I fuck
he
a
has my hair
lesbian. It's not
patch.
real.
Yeah, I just don't exactly want to direct deposit it.
He's got my hair.
Yeah.
He's got my patch.
And my ass hair. What the fuck?
my ass patch.
Yeah. That's where all the hair went.
Man, okay, so Resident Evil 8. Schweiss, let's hear why we haven't reviewed it yet until now.
This upstart diversity hire motherfucker here was like, me and A4 are going to review Resident Evil Village next month. And I was like, no, you're not. I was like, dude, you can't review that without me. Like, I've been a fan of the series forever. And then, like, 5 months later, I actually play it. That's pretty much what it was. You guys were wanting to
trying
review
to
it.
strong arm you into playing it, and you wouldn't play it.
Did you play it on PS5 or did you play it on PC? Because I got it on PC like day one.
I played it on PS4 because I didn't want to wait.
I played it on PS5, and that's why I waited, because I wanted to get the newest, best version of it that I could. And the PC.
So you're not playing the PC version.
But this fucking laptop is not going to be the best version of it. Like, the laptop's fine, but it's not like high end.
Come on, you've been working long hours slinging mail. You could afford a new PC.
There fucking aren't any parts. That's the problem. There's nothing. There's no joy in this world.
You've got guns. You can steal parts from people who have them.
China has stolen our joy away with the manufacturing. There's no chips. That's why the PS5 is so hard to get. And the PS4 Pro, same thing. They stopped making the Pros.
I noticed
because
that.
the 5 takes some of the same shit. Is what I heard.
I'm glad I have one.
That might be bullshit, but I haven't seen.
That is why I upgraded this PC last year, because I was like, well, these parts ain't going to get any easier to find.
They really aren't.
I will say the PS5 performed flawlessly, as far as I could tell.
Yeah,
I didn't have any problems on my PS4 Pro.
There were actually reports of the PC version not running as good because it had the DRM, but I think they removed that since, and it has improved the performance dramatically.
Okay.
I didn't notice when I was playing it originally, so it's like whatever.
So that's pretty much why I made him delay, because I wanted to play it.
And then I understood. Like I didn't want to review without you.
Have you played all of them, or did you play 6?
No, I've never played 6.
Okay.
That's the only main series.
We should cut a co-op 6 then, because I heard it's way fun co-op.
Yeah, we should.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. This was the first time I've ever beaten a Resident Evil, except for maybe Umbrella Chronicles. So, that was.
Is Umbrella Chronicles the light shooter?
Yeah, it's the rail shooter that's on the Wii. It's almost like an arcade game. It's
I
pretty
those are
fun.
good.
Like,
I never beat one actually. I never did beat the first one.
I'm like
sorry.
I'm like almost done with one. I haven't beat one yet either.
So you've beaten only that one, the
so
rail shooter,
I think
and then this.
I think I beat. If I remember, I think it was like a 4-hour campaign, and me and Dylan just like did it in one day.
So remember, Joe's scores don't count on this episode.
Shut up. Obviously, I didn't play 7 nor hear really anything about it except it's really good in VR. Like, that's the only thing I heard about 7.
Man, you were probably
saw
lost
a
to shit then,
trailer.
because this game is heavily dependent on
Yeah,
you having
We'll
It's
talk
played
about
sevens.
what I understood and what I didn't.
Don't
yeah,
worry.
story you
Nobody
don't
understands the ending, so don't worry.
Yet.
I mean, I understand it. It's
And I have played like a few hours of 4 just because Resident Evil 4 was seen as like
Huge.
this amazing
It's
game.
one of the best games of all time.
And I bought it twice. It didn't work on
Did
my
you-
PC.
did you
and
do-
then I bought it on the
Oh.
PS2.
God,
Did you
Forza
trade it for some other game? Because you do that. Like, you got Red Dead Redemption, one of my favorite PS3 games, and you traded it
That's
for
the
like
only time
Call
I've
of Duty
done that.
4. And I was like, what the fuck?
And I loved Call of Duty 4. That was great.
Okay.
There was a reason behind. There was a religious reason behind that choice.
Well, yeah, the shoot the. I mean, I guess it is better to shoot people than undead creatures.
No,
Oh, no, I'm thinking. Never mind. I'm not thinking.
You're not thinking of
Wait, what was
nudity
your-
in
what-
the game.
Well, it's not like you
Oh.
traded GTA 5 or anything. You know, the N bomb like every 4 seconds.
I understand that it was not the same thing, but there was a point when I was trying to clear out my media, and Red Dead Redemption was one of these sacrifices.
There is a part where a dude's plowing a chick and
Yeah.
her tits are like.
Yeah, and I had not played the game, but I knew that there was going to be nudity in it, and I got rid of it.
What about the side quest where the dude's fucking his horse?
I don't remember that.
Joe didn't have any religious exemptions.
Yeah, Joe's southern half of his lineage made him like, well, get around that.
Have you guys reviewed
I'm half
Resident Evil 4 on
redneck.
this podcast?
It's just implied that he fucks his horse. They don't show it.
Anyway, so I played a little bit of Resident Evil 4. What really threw me off starting 8 was that it was in first person.
Yeah,
Because
Started with
Resident Evil
7
4
also was, yeah.
was in third person, and the only reason I played this was because I was told you can in fact move and shoot, which not being able to move and shoot in Resident Evil 4, honestly, like, as a person who was used to shooters playing a certain way, when I played 4 for a little bit, I was like, oh my god, I can't figure this out. Like, my brain couldn't handle just sitting
It's a
there.
bit hard to go back
While
to
the-
those. Like,
while the
I think
zombies
5's
are
the
coming
same
at
way.
ya.
And
5 is the
having
same way.
played
You
5,
can't move and shoot in 5. I haven't beat 5 yet, but I
having
played
played
the beginning.
5, like, after playing a lot more of the modern third-person shooters, I was like, oh, this feels weird.
Oh, you should try going back to the first one.
yeah. They're
They switch it up.
I think the first one
A
to
lot.
do move and shoot was Outbreak #2, and that was like 2005.
Can you not move and shoot in 6?
We don't know.
Well, that
No one's played it.
2005 is way 6 is way after 05.
Yeah.
6 was 12.
No, but I meant like of the
6 came out in
over-the-shoulder
2012, I
ones,
thought.
because Outbreak's not really a over-the-shoulder one.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't played 6, so
I haven't
it's,
either.
it's been a staple for a long time that you're not allowed to, and I think the part of it, I think that adds to the fear because moving and shooting does make it a little bit easier.
So, see, that's why I stopped playing The Evil Within, was because you had to stop and shoot. I hadn't played Resident Evil yet. It pissed me off. But I think I'm going to go back and play Evil Within. So it's kind
It
of
makes sense, too, because Evil Within's the same.
Now that
Oh.
you've played a bunch of Resident Evil games that you don't have to stop and shoot
Well,
for,
no,
you
because
think you're
because
prepared?
I played 4. 'cause I
Oh,
love,
okay.
Yeah, I love 4. 4 is like one of my favorite ones, like by far.
All right, so which ones have you played then to completion?
2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And
What
I'm
about-
like almost through 1.
What about OG2 or
I haven't
3?
played OG2 or 3.
Okay.
I want to, because I heard OG3 is like way longer than the 3 remake, and I really want to play it.
Yeah, it's not that long.
Well,
but-
there's like a clock tower part they cut out completely, and there's a couple other parts they've like completely cut out of the game. So I really want to.
Yeah, three's okay.
I want to go back and play it.
It
All.
wasn't supposed to be a main line.
Really?
No, it was supposed to be a knockoff.
Is that why it was called Nemesis? And
Yeah.
they Put that 3 in front of
Yep, it was supposed to be Resident Evil Nemesis, but PlayStation, there was something weird, and they wanted to put Code Veronica on multiple consoles, and PlayStation didn't want to let them, so they made 3 Nemesis when 3 was supposed to be a spinoff.
Dude, I've tried played Code Veronica because I was really excited. Because like my cousin had this book back in the day that was like all the designs and stuff, and that one looked really cool. So I wanted to go back and play it. The controls were pissing me off.
Yeah, it's old.
It
Was
makes
Code
me so
Veronica like
fucking mad.
supposed to be the real Resident Evil 3 or what?
It is, yeah. It's
Because
supposed to
it
be.
makes sense because it's Claire. Like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3, but it's whatever. I've done both versions of 2, 3, did 4, 5, 7, 8, Outbreak 2. I think that's it.
I want to go through and beat them all, like 100%.
Yeah.
So 5, I need to go back.
1 remake, 2 remake, 4, 7, and 8.
Okay. So much more than
I've dabbled with 4, and honestly, 5 for a little bit too. But
5's kind of the same.
5 and 4 are kind of
They're
really
very
similar.
they're really similar games.
I mean, one's like what I remember about the cutscenes that threw me off in 5 is that it was like suddenly an action movie.
Yeah.
When 4
Yeah,
was
they
more of a
focus a
horror
lot
thing.
less on the horror, I think, in 5 and
Yeah,
6.
they were that.
Kind of like what happened with this
kind of went away from
compared to
it a little
7. 7 felt a lot scarier, and this one feels a lot less focused on the horror when you're not in House Benevento.
Yeah,
It feels more actiony.
when you're not in the scariest thing I've ever seen in a video game ever.
Well, it sucks because I had such a boner through the whole castle, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, Lady D's titties," and then I went to there, and I was like, "Oh, cool, now I'm gonna die."
Oh, the big woman, the big woman,
Yeah,
the big
Well,
woman.
no, I like how people were like, "Oh man, all these simps for Lady D are gonna freak out when she turns into a giant monster at
I
the end of her
came
section." It's just
twice.
like even better.
Yeah.
Quick succession.
Didn't give a fuck.
I can work with this.
Yeah, I was like, "Woo!"
You got any info on the background of this game? A4?
What do you mean? Yeah, play 7.
Let's
and then
see
we'll-
here.
When did it come out?
I mean, it came out this year. It came out May 8th, 2021.
It got
it's
pushed
the
back,
fastest
didn't it?
selling Resident Evil game.
Wow.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's the 3rd fastest Resident Evil
okay.
Reading's
game
hard.
sold.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive considering no one has a fucking PS5. So,
Yeah.
you know.
It beat the odds. Did you know in Japan though they had life-size Lady Demetrius like cardboard cutouts, like her actual like height?
Oh, no.
Say it
And I'm
right,
pretty
it's Demetrius.
fucking mad I couldn't get one.
Well, you gotta fucking rent a plane.
Well, I wanted them to do it here. Like I thought they were going to do them in the U.S. too, like in the game stores. 'Cause they did them in game stores in Japan.
Okay.
But
They
pretty upset.
I didn't see much of the lead up to this. I know they were showing off like the village thing before it was revealed to be Resident Evil 8, but like Schweiss already talked about, like, oh, that'd be funny if it was Resident Evil 8 because you could make an 8 with the V and the I and the 2 L's in village, and that's what they did. It's exactly what they fucking did.
I do think it's a really lame title.
Village.
Resident
Okay,
Evil
you wanna-
Village.
I mean,
But it totally
so-
encapsulates the game.
Resident
You're in a
Evil
village.
Village, Resident Evil Village with no colon, Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil Village. I hate it. So like it
So
doesn't.
what they did with Resident Evil 7 is
Resident
the
Evil
series
8
is called
sounds way
Biohazard
better.
in Japan. So in America, it was
Biohazard
released
Village?
as Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and the 7 was made up of the V and the I and the L and evil. And then in Japan, it's called Biohazard : Resident Evil, and part of the Z is a 7.
Okay.
in that-
Wow.
So they've been doing this for a bit.
So it's like Tool. They're like, all right, come on. We got to do 60 empty tracks so that we can have Disgustipated as track 69. And then we're going to have a track called 7, or what is it, a Tempest? But we're going to have a 7 in it. But if you do the digital one, it's
Yeah,
not actually
7
the 7th
Empest.
song. It's actually like number 9 because you got two
The only
bullshit
good
songs.
song on Fear Inoculum, by the way.
Lies.
That's not true.
Lies.
No, that
Fear
album
Inoculum's
fucking
a great
sucked.
song, if anything.
That album is so boring.
Get the hell
Tempest
outta
is
here.
like the only good song on that album.
They're
Yeah, I don't have a
all-
lot of lead up to this. I just know it's the third fastest selling Resident Evil
Never
game.
eats.
tied
And it was
with
all
29
because
Resident
they
Evil.
pretended that Lady Demetrius was going to be a bigger part of the game.
I
They
think
did focus a lot
title's
on
so lame.
Lady Domitrescu
Yeah.
in the lead up to
Literally, that's all
this,
it was.
considering how much fanfare it got from people on the internet, when in fact she is one of 4 bosses.
Technically 5.
Well, you know what I mean. She's like
I
one
know.
of the 4 warlords, but they made it seem like she was going to be the big bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I only
I kinda
learned there
did
were more
say
of
that.
them because there's a series of Japanese commercials for this game where it's all 4 of the warlords, but they're like puppets, and they're singing how about they're not scary and to come to the Resident Evil village. It's fucking great.
I'll have to check it out.
Okay. Yeah.
But so, or were you going to say something?
No, I was just gonna say that reminded me of the like story time in the beginning. I was like, "What the fuck is this game?"
With like
What the
Coraline,
fuck?
yeah, or like some Tim Burton shit.
Yeah,
It's
It,
I was
does,
just
it
like-
looks exactly like Coraline. Yeah. that style.
And then the story kind of follows that story, and I was like,
Well, it's like you don't get then you don't get the ending of the actual story until you beat the game, because then it like mirrors.
then you see
The post-credit scene.
you see your bitchy not wife giving you the post credit. They're finishing the story off.
I mean, there's a reason why she's a bitch in the beginning.
There is.
So wait, well, let's talk about the story real quick.
The twist you could see from 12,000 yards away. That one.
I personally did not see that coming.
It's in one of the fucking it's in one of the books you come across. It's like says it basically.
Oh, maybe I missed that one.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, okay, that adds up.
The story.
Should we go straight into the story?
I mean, might as well. It's our first one.
Yeah, might as well.
So
does anybody have a quick?
All right, so this takes in place not immediately, but like a few years after 7. It's very inspired, things. You bring it up a lot, like I'm sure you did.
How are things in America? And all I'm thinking while I'm in the village is, these not Americans?
Yeah, they all have American accents,
talk like Americans, and as far as I could tell, I mean, unless this is like, oh, how is it in America now that you're in the southern part of Canada right now, and everybody sounds like an American? I couldn't figure out when I started this game, because I didn't play 7, I couldn't figure out what the fucking time period was. I was like, is this a prequel to Resident Evil? I have no idea. Because I start seeing, of course, symbols later on, and I'm like, well, maybe, okay. And I'm still thinking that by almost the end of the game. Like, is this
because you get a cell phone right at the beginning, or you try to talk to someone on a cell phone right at the beginning when the car crashes. Like, it takes place in the modern day.
That's confusing as fuck, but then you're in this village that's like this almost, except for like a couple items, like almost backwards village.
Yeah,
like,
because they're
you're also in a village where there's werewolves and vampires, so who the fuck knows,
yeah, exactly.
Right? And I think they actually do a good job in this story trying to scientifically explain why this lady's a vampire, or why they're werewolves, or lichens as they call them.
Yeah, they don't explain shit, but whatever. They just go, oh, we're doing experiments or whatever. You can find them in the little labels and all this other shit all over the place.
Oh, yeah, you play any other games, that's what it is. It's science.
Yeah, I was so confused by the setting. I don't think I was that confused by the actual narrative story. I was really confused about when this was taking place and where it was taking place.
Yeah. The thing is, you do find stuff out that would technically kind of be a prequel to the game, because shit goes down.
It's just Europe. He's just relocated to Europe.
And they all talk with American accents.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Europe.
That's kind of just a fucking. I think that's just an oversight on maybe the voice actor director's part, but yeah.
I kind of wondered about that, to be honest.
Awful oversight.
I didn't really notice it after a couple minutes. It didn't really matter.
Yeah, it didn't really bother me either.
I think the setting's great. I love the way the village looks. And with the big castle looming in the fucking distance, it's so fucking cool.
Right. So you play as Ethan Winters, same protagonist from 7. It is
he's seen some shit.
4 years. Yeah, he's seen some shit. He's gotten some training from what's his name? Fuck.
Chris Redfield the people at whatever the new version of Umbrella is, I guess.
Old fat Chris Redfield.
Yeah. Because Chris was really skinny at the end of 7. Spoilers for 7. He shows up at the end of 7 for 2 seconds. And then in this one, he just bulked the fuck up.
Yeah, dude, he got huge. I hope he's taking steroids and
Well, I mean, in 5, he's absolutely ridiculous. So
he punches a boulder, which they reference in this game.
Yeah, that boulder punching asshole. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was. I laughed so hard at that line.
Anyway, you're at home with your wife and your newborn child, and Ethan is still expressing concern about the events that happened a few years prior.
As
in
you
7.
fucking do. She was bugging me in the beginning of the game. She's like, "It's over. It happened." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still having nightmares." So
again, there's a plot reason for it, but yeah, she comes off as a huge bitch, and then all of a sudden, Chris Redfield and the Umbrella Corps or whatever fucking
saves
storm your house,
shoots
kill your wife, steal your
wife.
baby.
No one says the word umbrella ever, by the way.
No, I mean at the end of 7, they show that they're part of some sort of umbrella thing.
6 or 5.
It's got a different name. I forget what it's.
Come on, Joe.
No, I'm telling you, from my perspective, no one says umbrella. I saw
I know.
a couple times.
I know. Just I'm going off of what I saw at the end of 7.
Yeah, it's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
over.
Go ahead.
Yep, they kidnap your baby, they kill your wife, and they put you in custody, basically. And then at some point, driving along to wherever they're going, the fucking van crashes. You wake up.
Everyone's dead.
And kind of wander through the snowy wilderness trying to figure out where your daughter is and what the hell happened. And you stumble upon this ancient Victorian village where there's some crazy shit going on after exploring for a bit and figuring out that all the townspeople are like holed up in this one house and terrified of these werewolf lichen-like creatures that are
Did you get your ass
patrolling the
kicked?
streets of this village.
You get fucked up.
You get kidnapped by... You're on your way
Heisenberg.
to... the giant castle in the distance to get some answers, and you are kidnapped by Nicolas Cage in a beard, aka Heisenberg, who is one of the 4 fucking warlords of this fucking village.
man? My fucking redone. Stupid.
No, I have that sound. I can play it, but also like. Was I the only one who thought that his voice did not fucking match him at all? Like,
yeah,
No.
you were
You
not
you see
the
this
only
guy
person
in
who
like
thought that.
a hat and circle shades with a giant hammer. And I'm
Gotta-
like, oh, he's gonna sound really gruff, right? He's like, oh, you're not local, and it's like, what
It
the
sounded
fuck? Why does
like-
he sound like that?
It sounds like a computer nerd.
It didn't bother
He
me.
does.
Yeah.
He just sounded like a goob to me. I don't know. Like, it's just this goobery voice actor.
You know, one of them goobers.
Turtle Club. It's like the guy doing the Turtle Club impersonation. in there.
Did
Shitty
Dana
fucking
Carvey.
Dana Carvey and Master of Disguise.
Yeah. Come on, Ethan. You want to be in a club? You want to be in the mechanical engineers club, Ethan?
It's a bizarre choice.
Yeah. The Japanese
You
one's probably
you
cool.
eventually find out that these 4 lords that rule over this village have essentially split up your daughter Rose into like 4 separate parts, and they each have one, and they're using it to try and resurrect their like goddess / priestess / whatever, Mother Miranda.
That's not what's happening.
What's happening?
No, you see Mother Miranda in the thing. Like that's the person that's talking. You just know that they've split up the daughter so you can so they can do a ritual, but it's not for Miranda.
I thought it was to try and bring. Oh no, they're trying to bring Miranda's daughter
Yeah,
back or something.
but they
right?
don't. Yeah, they don't know that. Only Miranda does.
Okay. Either way, that's like the main plot of the fucking game
Yeah.
is go to 4 different areas, get pieces of your daughter
daughter.
back.
And through those 4 so they're like 4 different areas that are all just outside of this village that you have to like cross through all the time. So it's like a one location kind of game, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, the village
yeah.
is like the kind of the hub world. It's kind of got Metroidvania elements where you go back when you have like new items or whatever, and you can unlock more stuff and find more items.
But in the same vein, it does go with 2 and 3, where it's like you go to different areas, but you're in the same city, like with 2 and 3. And
Yes.
4, you're in the
Yeah.
same village too. Like it's
Yep, and it's a really weird, gross plot. Really violent. At the beginning, when they kill your wife in front of you,
dude, and
Like,
then
that's
Ethan gets
fucked.
half his hand bitten off.
yeah, he gets.
Yeah, I
out
don't
of-
know. I don't know what the devs of these games
Yeah.
have against Ethan's fucking hand. Because
Yeah, he loses
I
his
should
hand.
mention
They
for
fucked
Joe, who never
up,
played
yeah.
7. He loses his fucking hand right at the beginning of 7
Yeah.
too,
Cut off his
and
fingers.
he gets like stapled back on basically.
There's this one part where he gets his hand taken off, and then he like puts it back on.
Did you laugh at that?
I did. I
can
laughed my
imagine you
ass
laughed
off.
pretty hard at that.
There is a plot reason for that, but out of
yeah.
context, I can see how that's weird as shit.
Yeah, plot reason. It's like I'm just going along with the game. I guess there's like, first off, really confused as a person who's just like barely put my toe into the Resident Evil thing. I'm like, what the fuck? None of these are zombies. Like
Yeah.
they're other creatures of some kind.
There's some
See,
that are
that's
zombies.
why, like, that's
Yeah,
why
you
the
get the revenants and the
name
castle.
Biohazard, the Japanese title for the series, is way better because it kind of explains a lot better, like how they can kind of have different types of creatures in these games. But Biohazard's also apparently a fucking like punk rock band or something, so that's why they couldn't name it that here.
Oh, okay.
Resident
Yeah.
Evil is kind of a stupid name.
Resident Evil.
It makes sense
I
for
still hear the dude's
the
voice.
first one and almost none of the other ones.
Yeah, the
but-
one that it takes place exclusively in a house, I guess. Yeah,
which
or a
is like
mansion.
1 and 7. So
Yeah,
There
and
are
7.
evil residents.
I was gonna say that not all the enemies are zombies though. Like through the other games either. Like
Yeah, that's true.
they have,
yeah,
like,
but Joe wouldn't know that. Like,
I know that's what I'm saying. Like
Well, they got like other creatures that are like seem to be like puffed up version, but none of them are like a 9-foot tall woman
yeah, because
Yeah.
we got blessed.
with a whatever. Anyway, I was so confused.
I bet that whole castle smells like dank pussy. It's like they can't have fresh air. You know, it's just like like
Dude, for sure.
unwashed vagina.
well,
Nah,
they
dude,
fur.
I
well, they
bet it
can't
just
have
like dead
fresh air
bodies,
because
dude.
her
There's no
daughters
way.
are made up of just like a mass of bugs, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you
find
go,
that out
then you go
later.
under the castle, and it's like a river of blood.
I'd
You
let
know,
him
it's like-
suck me off.
I mean, those daughters can get it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they did get
There's
it.
a man thing here. I'm starting to remember the little lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
The man flesh.
I want to eat you. I'm like, go right on ahead. Ooh, a little less on the teeth.
There was some like pretty
Pulls
sweet
out that
like.
sickle and it's like, kinky.
Well, it's like some of that stuff was like some of the visceral stuff was sick. Like when they like grab your hand, like shove it through the hooks. Like when she raises you
Yeah.
up. Like that was kind of like cringe.
That's not that much worse than a lot of the stuff you see in 7, though. 7 gets pretty.
But it's, no, I'm
grisly,
saying like
too.
I liked it. I thought it was like cool. Like they did a good job. Like mirroring
Just
7.
seeing it in first person makes it so much more visceral than what it was in like the other games where you're not in first person. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. 2 and 3, they were like pretty like surprisingly fucked up,
Yeah.
like gore.
Oh, the
fest
remake of
moments.
2. Yeah, there's some fucked up looking dudes.
Like when the fucking mutant gets a reporter guy. That's fucking like pretty intense when his like skull just explodes basically into the wall.
I want to play 2.
I just mean there's more of like a visceral feeling to it when you are in a first person view and you are supposed to assume that this is your hand getting shoved into a hook as you get fucking like lifted up in the fucking rafters of this room.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's why they went with first person for this guy's series or this guy's 2 games, is because it is kind of a, just by definition, it is going to be more like realistic feeling because
Well, and
it's
it's
first
also
person.
it's also
Didn't they
a
go for it because of
it's
the
a, it's a
VR?
perspective they haven't really touched yet, and it was a good way to like build up mysterious air about the game before it got revealed to be Resident Evil. I'm not talking about Village. I'm talking about like 7 when they did
Mysterious.
like the VR demo called
Oh,
Kitchen.
when everyone
and people
was
were
like,
like,
"Oh,
"Is
it's
this a
gonna be
fucking Resident
Silent
Evil game?"
Hill.
Because it's by Capcom. And then eventually it was revealed, yes, this is the new Resident Evil. So
Yeah, I still haven't played that in VR. I should probably play it.
My buddy told me he fell
I
out of his
could.
chair because he was trying to dodge something, and he just like.
But yeah, the story is pretty like, yeah, I'd say it's pretty visceral. It's pretty intense. Really unique characters. And
I love the 4 lords, like even the ones that don't really stand out as much, like the merman guy. Like I still like he was just kind of like the fucking like, he was the lame one out of all of them. Like he's like, no one takes me seriously.
Yeah, dude, he was like Eeyore. He was like,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Go back to my lake?
You just
Like,
walk up
walks
to like him
away.
watching TV, and you're trying to like reach through the boards to get his like piece of your daughter, and he just turns around and you're like, I'm gonna take this bye. He's like, no, don't go.
he looks like the aliens that read the poems in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the movie version.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. He's like sad looking and green and like droopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty enjoyable, and all the areas are pretty like unique and cool. So
Well, that was it. That's what that was definitely
Yeah.
nice. Was like all the areas were pretty much different. Like it was
Because you'd think, and
different, yeah.
granted, the game does completely blow its fucking load with the castle being the first one, but like you'd think the castle is like the main area of the whole game,
Yeah, and it's not.
considering how big of a map it is, and then like you get to the House Benevento and the swamp, and then the fucking factory, and it's just like, damn, there's a lot going on here.
yeah,
It's a way bigger game than it looks like.
and then there's if you don't see the note and then are able to tell the twist from 12 miles away, then there's like a big cascade of ending scenes where there's one twist followed by another twist followed by another twist, basically.
I liked that you got to play as Chris Redfield, like
and-
almost the end of the game. That was
That
so
part was cool.
fucking
That was
awesome.
easy shit.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
just
it was
laying
fun.
there.
That's the point. They just take the limiters off, and it's like, all right, here's this game, but with like
You're
if you
not
had
a
actual
pussy
guns.
anymore.
You know, they
Put the
did that.
buttons on
They
your
did
hand.
that in 7 too, where like
Yeah.
at the end you just like, all right, here's the assault rifle, and then like ammo was just everywhere, and you're like, yes. But in this time, you're like, I got the assault rifle and the body of a man who knows how to use it.
Right, like
And,
no,
like,
it
you
was
call
it was a
down
payoff.
airstrikes,
It was
like-
great. You're like,
Yeah,
all right,
and you're calling in fucking like drone strikes from the sky. You're like, yeah.
that was pretty cool. It was out of nowhere for me, but it was cool.
Dude, how fucking cool was that like mech car that he made to kill the Heisenberg robot?
Yeah.
That thing was fucking awesome.
You know what it reminded
was
me
pretty
of?
great.
Have you seen Scary Movie 2?
No, I haven't.
So there's a scene where like they get locked in the basement, like they're getting chased by like a ghost, and she locks them in this room, and she's like, "Oh, we're stuck in there. We can't get out. Like we're gonna freeze to death and die." And she's like, wait, I think with all this stuff, I can build us a way out of here. And so she's like, this montage of her building, like, oh, it's going to be shitty. And it backs up and it's like a fucking track hoe. And she like starts it and just, that's what it reminded me of. It was just like, the fuck did he get? All right. Like I was down for it.
Your parry is like pull a chainsaw arm in front of you and like block the fucking robot. Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah,
I was like, this
fun.
is ridiculous, but it is so cool.
To me, like you know what though? Like it did feel Resident Evil. Like that's the thing is like it did. Feel
And you had your
ridiculous.
horror themed boss fight in that section with the fucking like the propeller machine zombie thing that like just breaks through the walls and shoots
I fucking
you.
hated that guy.
Yeah, the mini boss of that zone.
If he just runs,
Yeah,
that was
so
kind of
like
cool.
because Heisenberg's not fucking threatening. I'm sorry. So like having him be the
Come
last
on,
boss
dude.
of that section, it's like, all right,
Fucking bitch.
just takes all this metal and makes
Oh,
himself
bitch.
into a giant metal monster. Yeah,
Miranda.
that totally works.
I was confused by the setting, but I knew it was a sequel to the other game. So I was like, okay, there's
Doesn't
like
matter.
setups I don't know. I didn't realize he knew, based on the first scene, I didn't realize he knew that guy before.
Who, Chris?
The guy who came in and like shot
Yeah,
his,
Chris.
yeah.
Only a
Yeah,
little
Chris
bit.
Redfield like
They
saved you at
basically-
the very, very.
But
end
they
of
had more
Resident Evil
interaction
7.
outside of the game.
Yeah, they basically relocated you to a new place.
and they give you military training.
Yeah,
Like
like I didn't expect to have him be like your perspective of him on the level. Like I expected to get some answers, which I kind of got.
Which he seemingly refuses to give you for most of the fucking game.
Yeah,
and at some point
and
they're like, we
there's-
probably should have told him.
and
And he's
there's-
like,
yeah, it's like, hey, bro, why didn't you tell him from the beginning?
And there's one part where he's explaining a certain character's actions, and the game fades out, and then it fades back in. He's like, anyway, to sum it up, she's crazy. And I
Yeah.
got kind of mad at that part. I was like, what the fuck, game?
Well, no,
what
so
the fuck?
you know what her motivations are.
Yeah.
She was supposed to bring her daughter back. That's why she was doing all
But
of the
I
different
wanted to
science
hear
and-
him say it.
Dude, that whole fucking room is an exposition dump. I didn't personally need to hear him say it because I read
Anyway.
everything going.
Yeah, you got to read all the little notes everywhere. One of
yeah,
which
but
gives away
that's
the
a Resident
ending.
Evil thing. That's not new to this series at all. So
So that was interesting, and I thought the ending was like interesting. I will say I was not really attached to the story that much. Like I saw these cool situations happen, and I think like the sections of the game were really cool. Like, and the characters were pretty cool. At least the bad guys, not the main character.
well, they're the
Not
main
Ethan.
draw. Like I played 7, and I didn't really care too much about like Ethan's
Yeah.
struggle to get his daughter back. It's like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but also
Yeah.
like I just want to see the next crazy fucking thing happen.
Yeah, I was much more invested in the mini stories than I was in like the main thing. So like when the twist happens and then you get like the new guy in there, like story wise it wasn't like that invested, and like when the ending happens I wasn't like feeling it that much. I guess
If you had played some of the other ones, playing as Chris again might have been a really cool moment for
Yeah.
you. But other than that, yeah.
I guess the ending death was pretty interesting. I thought that was a pretty good moment. And post credits scene I thought was interesting. I was like, oh, I wonder where this is going. I feel like there might have been more answers if you had played 7, but I don't know.
I liked
About
the
said
I liked the
person's
questions
powers.
that post credit scene.
I mean, like they
So it's
just,
just-
they just reference Evelyn, who was the villain of 7.
Yeah, so she has a
Okay.
lot of crazy powers. Like,
So, do you
Okay.
think it's gonna be
And
a
the-
mainline series or a break off?
and the thing that happened is Evelyn is the main baddie from the last game. I think she.
They experimented on a child, and they found out she could like do this like crazy shit.
Yeah, I think. Oh, man, it was Mia. There's something with Mia and Evelyn from the last game. I think
Because Mia was her like handler with this other dude, and so she saw Mia and this other agent as her mom and dad, and so then like she like fucks things up that way. She's like,
She became obsessed with the idea of family. Like Mia and this other guy were doing like some shady shit basically for like an umbrella type corporation, and we're basically transporting Evelyn. And then shit kind of got fucked up on the boat along the way, which you find out later in 7.
Yeah,
Like right before.
and I think Evelyn, the baddie in 7, I think she's the one that becomes your wife, right? Isn't that what it is, or something like that? She's connected to that.
No, she's only alive because we're reviewing the game. We're gonna spoil it. So you find out like the big twist in the game is that Ethan's actually a mold the entire time, which are like the villain zombies in 7. And so she controls him. So she's only alive because he's alive. Is what
So
I took from it.
Literally meant mold. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was like a
The zombies in 7 are like these mold
metaphorical
creatures.
line of dialogue.
Yeah,
It's
they're like-
you
they're
are
like-
nothing but mold. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, they meant that quite literally.
Yeah, they're weird.
I understood that I had some sort of like crazy powers, basically, but
And that's why you
That's
can
why
like put
he
your
can
hands.
regenerate.
Yeah.
And that
that's why he
explained
just
that
puts his
moment.
hand
But what's
on
just
his
funny
wrist
is
and
like in
force
Resident
the
Evil,
first
you
thing
get
over.
like stabbed through, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna eat this green plant.
yeah, let me just put some
Oh, yeah.
herbs
It's
on
like,
that.
whatever. Oh, cilantro for the zombies. It's gonna taste delicious. But so like you find out he's a mold the whole time, and then like he does die at the end of the game because he sacrifices himself to save his daughter and get Chris and Mia out of there. Because you find the real Mia in a prison cell.
He did say
On the
spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the
Yeah,
ending,
I said at the top of the episode, right after Joe said "giant inside out baby."
I just don't feel like they're not gonna listen. Like we're gonna spoil it. We've spoiled
Okay.
other games. Like I just
All right.
don't feel. The
Yeah, I
need.
feel
Well,
I
this
feel
one's
like that
just
should be
brand new,
obvious.
so I feel bad
Not
about it.
new.
That was this year. I feel like it's new
It's
enough.
pretty recent, and considering how it's hard to get your hands on a PlayStation 5,
Well,
I
then
can see that a
don't
lot of
listen to
people.
the-
So
may
I,
even
don't
play
know.
this episode.
I enjoyed the story for what it was. I enjoyed sections of it like a lot, like the daughters and stuff like that in the castle. I thought it was pretty cool.
It's hard. It's hard to
and
find
then
with a
Heisenberg
boner, to be
himself. I
honest.
thought. And then Heisenberg himself, I thought that was a fun character. And again, when you're fighting all these characters and you're kind of in their castle and they're interacting with the main character, all that stuff I think was really good. I think the main crux of the story was fine. Good old, gonna find my daughter, put the pieces back together thing.
It was pretty cut and dry, to be honest. Like,
Oh, we forgot to mention
Yeah.
Craig is in this game. He sells you items.
yeah. Dude, do you want me to cook you dinner, dude?
Bring me a bunch of rare
The
game,
food.
dude.
dude, it was really nice to have a guy like that back though.
A
'Cause,
merchant
like,
again,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude,
That
4 was so much
character
fun.
is a straight pimp. I love the merchant in this
Dude,
game.
and he just talks shit to like everyone because he like deals with all of them there, and he's just like, fuck these guys. Like,
Yeah.
hurt me.
He's
Like,
just.
whatever.
I love his fucking design. He's just this huge fat guy who like barely fits in his carriage. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And it's funny, he does reference the 4 guy. There's one part where he says, what are you
buying?
Yeah, he's like, what are you buying? And he laughs. He's like, just something an old buddy of mine used to say.
I honestly, dude, I geeked out pretty hard. Like that,
Yeah,
and then
it's
when
cool stuff.
even though I haven't beat 6, I know he punches a boulder and like Heisenberg's from that boulder punch an asshole, and I was just like, fuck yeah, like it's so funny.
Well, I mean, like it would make sense that he would reference 4, considering how much this game seems to be trying to be the Resident Evil 4 to.
It is.
dude, it's the
Resident Evil
love
1.
child of 4 and
This
7.
is, yeah, it is.
It
It's,
really is. Like
It's those 2 games combined. And then the funny thing is, okay, friend of ours, Dylan, big Resident Evil guy, right?
Huge.
Hates this game.
Really?
Hates it.
Really?
Says it's the worst one. And I was like, why? And he's like, it's too actiony. I'm like, 4 is action.
5 was
So
that.
is
5 is
6,
action.
motherfucker. Yeah, like
What? They're way more action.
I don't think he
than
ever
this.
played 6. I think he skipped 6 because he saw.
No, he said it was worse than 6.
Well, last time I talked,
that's
to him, he
ridiculous.
beat it.
I know. I was like, "What? You're high. Your favorite is 4. Don't you fucking tell me it's too actiony."
did you
This is-
fucking tell me?
And I was like, "This is 4 and 7 combined." He's like, "Maybe the worst parts of it." And I was like, "I think you're crazy. I think this game's fucking awesome."
I really
Like,
enjoyed it. It
I
was
don't know what the
worth
fuck
the
you're
wait.
talking about.
It was
I
worth the
will
wait.
give because the story just didn't hit me, but I thought it was good, so I will give it a 7. Solid, really solid. Lots of really good parts in it for sure.
What about you?
follow me here. This is a bit of a take. I feel like another Capcom series, this kind of does the same thing that it does Mega Man, where the overall story isn't important. It's the enemy characters, and you go to their extremely highly themed areas,
Ooh, instead of Mega
and
Man,
that's what gives them all their personality.
it's Moldy Man.
So wait, what are you gonna give it A for?
I'm giving the story an 8. I think it's a good continuation of 7. Again, the overall plot is very bare bones. It's mostly just due to how not iconic, I guess, because it hasn't been long enough yet, but like how striking all 4 of those main lords are in this game.
The art's
And
wonderful.
just sort of like the set pieces you experience as you go through taking them down. It's a really I constantly felt the pull to keep going and see where this all goes throughout.
I agree. I'm also going to give this a Village out of 10.
Is that an 8?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I would say that 4 is my favorite by far because
You beat it?
4. I fucking love 4.
Okay,
I beat it twice.
Ooh, no,
I'm just
kidding.
well, I'm saying that's a big deal because I go back and play other. Like, I don't, like.
Yeah, well, when I played it on the PS2, there wasn't much going on for me, so I played it like 6 times.
Dude, my cousin, like, he got on GameCube. He's beat that game like 10 times. He fucking loves it.
The cool thing about the PS2 one, though, real fast, they added like 2 new scenarios and then like a bunch of new items. So you had to beat it on professional, and you had to beat the
Cool.
mercenaries, and you had to beat the assignment 8 on professional, and you unlock like all sorts of costumes for Leon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You get like the Tommy gun and the fucking gangster outfit for him, and then like Ashley gets a fucking knight costume so she can't be picked up by the bad guys.
Yeah. And when they pick her up, they shake and fall over because she's too heavy.
Well, that'd be fucking awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
So like 4 being the best, I really like 7. Like honestly, like the ones I played so far, I've really liked. Like 2, 3 like being the least out of them because like
That's how the original 3 is too.
And so like
it's the worst one.
yeah, dude. I think 8 is a good point for Village. I don't think it's like as good as 4 or 7.
I think despite
But
the
it's still
very gothic
really, really
horror
fun.
elements in this game that they're clearly going for, it still feels like a Resident Evil game. It still feels very Biohazard.
I don't think it feels like anything Resident Evil I've ever played, but it was good.
I only played one game, but it didn't feel like Resident Evil.
Well, I played a few of them. I haven't beaten.
If you had played 7, you'd feel a little more. But 7 is
I feel
more
like
of a
maybe
survival
if you
horror.
played all the games in a row, you could see the cherries kind of change, but I didn't get that. I went from fucking 5 to this one, basically. It was like, what the fuck is going on?
But like, if 7 is Resident Evil 1 inspired, this one is Resident Evil 4 inspired. It very much feels like that sort of leap.
And it's still not that actiony to me. Like the combat's more actiony, but it's not 4 actiony. It's not 5 actiony.
I really feel like most of the gameplay, because I felt like from the little I played of 4 and 5, that was a lot more killing things, and this one was like a lot of puzzles and like
that's where it's more
that-
survival
yeah,
horror.
Classic Resident Evil.
and I felt like that was more. It was leaning way more on that end than it was on like the shooter end of things.
Yeah, until the very end, and then it's like, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
And you go Resident or Call of Duty on that shit. And you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, that was fun.
But
Calling
7
it
did that
kill
too,
strikes.
where it's like, all right, here's a fucking good gun.
Here's
Just
an
go
M.
ham.
Here's an M4.
Well,
go to town.
all the games do that though. It's like you get like the rocket launcher at the end of 2.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
true,
Like
true.
you get like the final
or the
like,
fucking tractor beam at the end of 3.
where she
She fucking puts it in his mouth, and it's like, fuck you.
it's so good.
Yeah, it's so much better than the rest of that game.
See, Resident 3 is like I think like so far the ones I played the worst, but I still enjoyed it. I still had so much fucking fun playing that.
Yeah,
game.
dude.
Except for my PlayStation kept overheating, so I want to play it again
I know,
where
mine
it
too.
doesn't keep stopping. So I can play.
I
the
just
game all
love
the way
that
through.
I got it
he's
on
like,
PC recently, the remake. I haven't touched it yet, but I loved the remake of 2.
Hey,
so
if
I'm
you
looking
play that,
forward
you
to
need
it.
to do the skin where she's naked.
He's
So I'll
like,
let you play.
he's like the ultimate. Yeah, he's like the ultimate. What's his name? The dude from Pineapple Express that like keeps coming out of like destruction.
oh,
There's like their buddy who like he's like
Yeah.
crawling out of the house that blew up. He's
Yeah.
that guy.
Who's the dude who's
the
like,
guy who doesn't die.
used
Yeah.
to be ruthless. I've seen it.
And then that's what Nemesis is in 3. Like even at the end when you turn him into a blob, like a sludge ball, and you think he's gone, the sludge is just like.
It like reforms a little bit. And you're like, okay. For 3 though, I didn't. I never played them right. Like 2, when you play 2, the first almost half the game, it's like you're like, I'm running around being happy, and then this thing comes and it like chases you the entire game. I didn't realize in 3 that like you're gonna be the beginning of the game. It's like, oh, he's here already, and I was like, I don't have time to prepare.
Yeah.
Like it was great.
So the chase you around thing has been there for a while.
Okay, all right.
Like
It's been
the
there for a
lady-
while. Technically, I think if you played it like on hard or something in 2, Mr. X would do that. But they kind of like really got popularized with Nemesis, and then it got repopularized with 7, which has the one hillbilly chasing you around for like half the game, and then Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 remake, and
The lady,
all that
the Demetrius is the only one that I think doesn't.
Yeah.
The other ones don't follow you.
I guess the baby, but that's like 5 minutes.
the daughters follow you in the castle as well as Lady Domitrescu.
I'll tell you,
Minutes, you'll
I'll tell
live
you,
with you for the rest
tell
of
you,
your life.
It is.
you air out those.
It's gonna live rent free. I don't want
Nasty.
to hear.
It is fucking scary though when you're just walking through the castle and all of a sudden you see the door open in front of you and she's just like leaning under the door frame like there you are. It's like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm horny and scared at the same time.
I'm probably in that same house as when he was like looking around the corner and he sees like his wife for like half a second, like those like shots of God damn it.
Yeah,
It's just like a section of the game that was like terrifying.
very creepy. Yeah.
Yeah. Schweiss, what do you give the story? What do you think about the story?
I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. I thought the ending was really great, where he's like holding his daughter, you know, and then he knows that he's gonna have to die, and not really see her. I thought that kind of hit me. I was like, man, I didn't think I'd be like emotionally touched by this game, but I kind of am right now. And then I was like, yeah, there's some stuff. I think him being a mold monster is kind of dumb.
It also makes no sense in my context.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand how that works.
Dumb, but it also makes sense considering how much punishment he takes through both 7 and 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the thing that didn't make sense, but that doesn't make this make sense to me. Though, you know what I mean? Like,
I just chalked it up to another.
You're just-
Resident Evil.
you're
I'm
just-
like, there's shit in this world that's like whatever.
you're just making some of the tomfoolery lesser by more tomfoolery is what's going on here. So I thought that was dumb. I thought the post cutscene where like they're like, oh, just like his dad. I thought that was kind of dumb too. I was like, how the fuck do you know? It's just some random like government agent. You didn't. How did you know his dad or her dad?
They could have
I was like,
heard
that's
stories
kinda
from
weird.
Chris.
Yeah, sci-fi.
Yeah,
I guess. I thought Chris was kind of weirdly detached from a lot of it. You know, like he wasn't.
But I mean, like, so my point of view for Chris is like, he's seen so much shit, dude. Like, I think this was like the Chris that's like.
well, and you got to realize he was trying to take Ethan away. He wasn't trying to take him to the village. He was trying to get him out of that
Yeah.
area to make sure he wasn't there. But then you just happened to wreck right next to it. I
You
mean, I
didn't-
know
you
that's
didn't. Yeah, well, no, you didn't happen to Miranda.
no, I know she made
Like,
it.
she
happen.
made it happen. But
I know.
Like,
But like it's so I kind of get where Chris is coming from, and Chris to me, I mean, he is still a badass, but I thought it was kind of funny. He looks like a fatty in this game to me. Like he looks
does.
like
It's because he's
chunky.
wearing like 8 coats.
He's like he aged a bunch, and he like kind of put on some poundage, you know. Like,
he can still
There's
punch
a
boulders.
fucking hysterical edit of him standing like in the house after they kill your wife, where they edited him to look like Chris Chan, where he's got like the striped shirt and the Sonichu medallion. It's fucking amazing.
I still really like his character. I don't think this really betrays his character. I just think he's kind of like.
Well, from the trailers,
He's kinda
we
done.
thought he was going to be evil because the trailers make it out that he's the.
Well,
bad,
the game
he's
makes it
a
out
bad
that he's
guy.
the bad
That's
guy,
true,
and you're
too.
like, no, this can't be right. Something's. I didn't catch the twist for. I mean, I read the note, and then I was like, oh yeah, she's not dead. And then but at first I was like, okay, this can't be right. He can't have just murdered your wife for no reason. I mean, she has been a giant bitch, and he's probably like,
He's like Ethan.
Oh
for
no
the
no no!
boys.
like throwing down,
I knew
like,
she
come
would
on.
still be alive. The twist I didn't see coming is that was Mother Miranda in disguise.
I did see the old wench being her. You know,
Yeah.
like in the village. I was like, oh, this is probably like the leader of the bad guys.
That's what I was wondering too. Like when I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, the twist that I was talking about was just her not being your wife.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That twist.
It is easy.
Yeah.
I thought the baby being torn apart was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was fucked up
I like
at the beginning.
I like that you're able to put the baby back together, and it makes sense because the baby's a little mold baby too. You know, little baby.
So I like that.
Little pieces of Genova in the.
that you
kind of
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Schweiss Facebook's messengered me like out of nowhere, and he goes like, "Doll maker down." And I was like, bro, that fetus is terrifying. And I laughed because you're like, as a father, I was definitely disturbed. And I laughed
Yeah.
so fucking hard.
Yeah, it was that part.
Did
that
you give me
part
the
did
same
scare me.
reply? You just had it in your back pocket? Because I texted you the same thing. I was like, dude, this baby part's freaking me out.
Yeah,
That is like the moment everyone agrees this is like the scariest part of the whole game.
Look, September 10th, 8:38 p.m. This baby part is legit scaring the shit out of me. And then Schweiss goes, I was quite disturbed.
it was. I was like, fuck.
Dude, it was scary. It was the scariest part of any Resident Evil game I have
And
played.
I got kind of mad because I wanted to play it with headphones because they're better. The games are better with
Oh,
headphones.
dude,
Always.
I did. Jesus,
I did.
fucking
Yeah, same.
Christ,
the
dude.
ambience
Is the
you play with
soundscape
headphones?
like it is in the other ones? Where like you
Dude,
hear
yeah,
everything?
yeah.
It's
So what
fucking
they're really,
scary.
really good at is like when you're playing, like you just hear sounds like through everywhere.
Just little
like,
tiny
oh,
noises.
I mean, I got that from my
but
TV
you-
speakers.
but
Just by,
do you know,
like,
do the
all the
headphones
little
make it so-
squeaks and everything were like,
It's more.
Yeah, dude, I was
stuff
like,
from there.
It's
there?
more with the headphones for sure.
Yeah, it's
like,
a little more pronounced. You
like
can hear
there
it a
is
little better.
a
Damn, dude, the sound design in this is so good. But we'll get to that eventually.
yeah. It's like there were times when I was playing Faz and I would like hear a noise in the house and I look over and like my eyes haven't adjusted yet, and then suddenly out of the mist like Alex comes and I'm just like. Because I can't quite see what the fuck is over there because my eyes are used to the bright screen, and then I like see someone form.
You're crying a little bit.
And that's the thing that 7, 2, 3, all of them do really well because of the way
Dude, their
it works
sound's
in your
good.
headphones.
We'll get to that in a second.
But it wouldn't connect to my fucking Bluetooth headphones for work. I was like, "What the fuck? Come on! I got these are like $140 fucking headphones," and it's like, "Sorry, we don't support that." I was like, "Fuck."
Do they only support the PlayStation headset?
I don't know.
I had a similar
Bluetooth.
problem. My iPhone won't connect it'll connect to 2 out of 3 of the Bluetooth things that I own. It like doesn't see the other one. It's like there's some old Bluetooth codec it doesn't want anymore.
Yeah, that's
It's
why I'm gonna buy.
bugging me. I'm wearing headphones as I'm driving down. It's the one in my car. Like it won't take my. It won't
Really?
yeah, it's annoying.
So too good for Apple.
Brand new iPhone. I can't use. I can use like my Jib Trues or whatever that are like stuck in my ears, but I can't do it in my car stereo.
I can't do it in Alex's car. It fucking refuses. I don't know why. It acknowledges that it's connected, but then it won't play my music.
Yeah.
I'm like, what
sometimes
the
there's
Some
just
cars are weird like that.
why don't they just call them
Corey,
like
Corey's phone
this
won't
is a
connect to her car for
Bluetooth
some
2
fucking
or
reason.
something like, but you don't know. It's just called Bluetooth.
fuck? Yeah.
Man, so how did you like the gameplay, Joe? Being the like not like like the real second Resident Evil, like you've played all the way through.
I really liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, the gameplay I thought was a lot of fun. Like the puzzles and everything. I was following because I had to beat this in a certain amount of time.
Right.
I started following a guide pretty religiously about halfway through the game, but not totally. Like there'd be some parts where I'm like, well, I'm just going to try to figure this out for a second. And then what I realized, this guide that was put up by Polygon, I think, it just had pictures with like
Don't support Polygon.
with arrows where it told you where to go, basically, and where like certain items were. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to read the guide anymore. I'll just, if I'm lost, I'll just pull this out.
Did they say it was a trans allegory of the
No.
game?
Yes.
I was like, it was actually a pretty useful guide. It
Ethan
got me a
being
good
made of
weapon.
mold is actually an allegory for how we are all.
Oh yeah,
independent.
because no, he's actually trans because of
He's actually
yeast.
genderless because he's a mole.
Yeast is a mold, right?
Sure.
Yeast is a mold. That's
Yeast
in
is a-
vaginas.
Yeah.
He's a fag monster. He's a big pussy.
He's a big.
He's always been a big pussy.
my favorite female protagonist from a video game.
You're nothing but a big, overgrown piece of pussy.
That's why Chris was so mad the whole time. Chris Redfield is like, "You're a fucking woman, Ethan. I can't stand you're a big pussy.
You smell like pussy. You look like
You're out of your depth."
You're just a pussy. You're a pussy, bro.
You're really into that.
Yeah, he really did. Like, you can see like part of the veins, like a little bit.
Veins popping out of his forehead.
Give me that
Dice
weight.
on
Give me
fucking
the
on the
bench.
Zoom call right now looks like tomato red to me. I don't know if it's the lighting
This is
from the
red.
laptop
It's-
camera, but yeah.
Somebody give me some dumbbells now.
He just shoots your wife, and he's like, "Ugh."
She was a pussy too.
Dude,
Ethan.
he's fucking massive, dude. Like, he really is. Like, no, but think about what he said. Like, I was thinking about, like, he is actually like, he's kind of dumb.
I thought
like,
he's toned down in this one. I think he looks way less crazy than in 5.
but he's got his pooch. Is all I'm saying. Like, he's got like the body
yeah.
Because he's
of a
wearing a
pooch.
huge coat. You can't see his
and a
muscles.
tactical turtleneck. So you know.
Yeah. This is my tactical turtle.
Yeah.
He's dressed like a school shooter in this one. That's why you can't tell he's muscly.
And you act like one in that one level you get him in. Like, you're
Yeah.
just wrecking people. You're like, I remember math
He
class.
kicks open the little like werewolf school. He's like, "Come here, kiddies."
Oh my god!
This reminds. I know how to get through this because I made a Doom map of this village.
I made a Doom map.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
So yeah, gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay. First-person shooter with like a lot of puzzle elements. I think is how to like describe this.
That's survival horror.
yeah.
I don't even know. I call it a first-person shooter. Like it is a first-person game and you shoot, but it is a lot more about like the survival aspect.
I understand
like, it
that
does feel like a survival
that is-
horror extension of what 7 did, which is basically the same thing. Just this feels a little more action-oriented. Like the enemies move a little faster in this one.
Kill
than they
little
did in
those
seven.
freaking wolf was on crack
there's-
because they like stumbled and like.
There's plenty of shooting. I
what
would
I-
call this
Yeah.
There's plenty of shooting, but I don't know if I'd go so far to call it a first-person shooter. You know what I mean?
I would
like,
call it a first-person shooter. I don't know like if tone necessarily. Like I would call like the mechanics of the gameplay being a first-person shooter.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing works for like Condemned and Condemned 2. They're like
Okay.
you shoot
That's fair.
and it is first person, but you also like solve mysteries.
Yeah.
It's like so it's kind of the same idea where like when you're doing combat, you're first person and shooting, but otherwise you're kind of like figuring shit out. And, like,
I mean, there is
It's
It's a
also
first-person shooter in the same way that
Yeah.
like Thief is a first-person
well,
shooter.
here's the
It's
thing:
kinda
you're
not.
finding keys and shit, just like you are in fucking Doom. So I like
That's
I don't,
true.
I don't know
Doom
if
is
it's
a
that
shooter.
different.
Doom, the main thing you're doing is shooting. In Resident
That's
Evil, the main
also
thing you're
a
doing
horror
is solving
game,
puzzles, and sometimes you have to shoot things.
It can overlap. I would call this a shooter.
I'm not saying it
Shooter.
can't overlap. I'm just saying the main focus of the gameplay of Doom is shoot. The main gameplay focus of Resident Evil Village is solve
Survive.
puzzles and explore.
I don't know if that's the main. I think it's like half and half for me. It's like in between solving puzzles, you do have to shoot shit on your way. So
I'd say it's a 60-40 split with the side on the puzzle solving.
yeah,
the
and what I
exploration.
really like about the gameplay was like they have a set number of zombies that are going to come after you, and you have time to figure shit out.
Except
It's
for
not
certain
like-
areas, like the courtyard in Castle Dimitrescu is like they'll always respawn there. But
Dude, I don't
other
know.
than-
Like the courtyard was kind of like there was a lot of fucking werewolves. I did a lot of running in circles.
I didn't. I cleared every area. I don't know.
No, they will respawn in the courtyard. Other than that, though, like
Oh,
there's not a lot of
zombie
areas
one. Oh,
where
you're
they'll
talking about in the
respawn.
castle. I'm sorry.
yeah, the zombie, they're vampire guys with the swords.
Yeah, those weren't difficult or anything either. So I would
No, I'm just
go
saying
around.
that's like the
Yeah,
only
you're right.
area in the game I can think of.
I think you're
off
right.
the top of my head where they do actually respawn.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, they're completely.
But it was like
it's a set number.
it was definitely like part of like an experience that they're crafting for you, like almost narrative like, where like this is the thing that happens when you get into this room, and then this is how you have to deal with it, which I thought was really cool and really makes the game. You know, you only have a limited number of bullets or whatever, and that's really nice because I remember in the little bit of play of 4, and the reason I didn't play 4 is because it was too hard. Like that game, too hard, and also like the shooting thing. Just
It is hard.
yeah, that whole thing was so
Not the beginning, but it is hard later.
it. So with that in mind, like I played this on easy mode, so that's another thing. I played this on easy mode because I had to play it really fast, and also the last Resident Evil I had like
Fucked you over.
given a good try to like really fucked me. So I was like, guys, I'm going to play this on easy. So
How far did you get in Resident Evil 4? Did
Like-
you get out of the village?
like 2 hours.
Oh,
maybe,
dude,
like-
that's not even the creepy part.
Yeah,
I'm
there-
not talking about creepy. I'm just like there's so many fucking
Dudes.
zombies coming at you.
It gets way worse.
It gets way harder.
It
yeah.
wasn't that much past the first time you see the merchant. I think after you leave that.
Wait to get what is it?
area.
Those one dudes like those like black dudes. They're like
the regenerators.
generators.
Yeah, the guys that breathe. They're like,
Dude, so
Oh yeah, those dudes
so
are
I-
fucked.
growing up, I had a little black cat, a little black and white cat, and when it got older, that's what it sounded like. So like, I never.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brulo in the chat saying, "quote Those weren't difficult, Joe." And then in parentheses, also played on EC.
Also play what?
also played on easy.
Yeah. That's
well, I
true.
died a few times to the werewolves.
Well, I
Like,
told you
couldn't-
I didn't die until Moreau. Like,
Oh, the fish.
yeah, and I only died because I fucking.
You didn't die until that. I died more than
No,
that.
I was
I can't
surprised.
remember
Like I was like,
if I
because I
died
like
before
become
then.
conscious of it, and like I was like, holy shit, like I haven't died.
Yeah.
Yet. Like that's bad.
I might have died at that first like village siege scene, like where you have to just wait it out before
And
like.
hold on, like put shit in front of the doors and stuff.
I got really close to dying, like really, really close. But like, yeah, I didn't die till Moreau, and it's only because I walked like to the like you have to, like take the water puzzle, and I clicked it, and I was walking across it, and it started blinking red, and I was like, "Fuck, come on, Ethan, run, Ethan, run, Ethan!" And he just like went in the water, and then he eats you, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I died on him. Yeah.
And then that
yeah.
boss, I continued to die after that because I was like doing stupid shit. And, like,
Yeah.
to that point, I was like, I don't care.
I
died
killed
on
myself because I shot one of the barrels on accident.
Same.
Point blank.
I got hit with his acid the first time. 'Cause I didn't know what I was like, kind of confused. I was like, "What the fuck is he doing?" I'm like, "Whatever, I'm gonna run and get like ammo and shit." Like while he's like being a dick and like spouting, and then it hit me. I'm like, "Oh shit!"
The acid
I
rain
was like,
move
I
was
was like,
brutal.
fuck!" I was like trying to run. I'm like, "I'm burning."
Yeah.
There is almost like, because of those 4 bosses, there's almost like a Metal Gear Solid aspect to the game. they aren't that complex to take them down like a Metal Gear Solid game would be, but it's almost like there's like these big 4 pillars of the game, and
They have their own area,
really
their own...
unique boss fights and areas. So that's cool. And the puzzles, I think, I got stuck a couple times, but they weren't like I just enjoyed my time.
Did you do that? Did you do the little like ball drop down?
Yeah,
like...
I called the last one the real final boss of the game.
It was tough. Like, the one at Heisenberg's?
The Heisenberg's castle ball drop where you try to get like a really cool item at the end or whatever you sell for $1 bazillion. There's that final one has like one where it's like completely open disc that's just like flying around. You have to like get the timing right so that it like almost like the ball launches itself off and then goes into that little thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was another thing I forgot to mention. Is that like loot returns in this game, which is cool.
Yeah, you can buy shit back as well, so that was nice and forgiving.
It was, and I liked what it did with like the 4 where you get the bigger briefcases and stuff. Like
yeah,
that was oh dude,
the
attaché.
It
was like a huge
also a nice step up from 7 and the 2 remake, where like your
pouches,
you have like 8 fucking slots.
You're
and
like,
it's like, good luck.
I found a hip pouch, and you're like, yes. This game was like at the same time as being new, it was like weirdly nostalgic because it was like playing 4 again, like. The certain things that were in it that called back, it was like a good little nostalgia kick. Like, attaché cases. Did
you guys do any of the exploration in the city where you go to like those little side areas and you find some secrets? Like there's the one like puzzle where you go in like the catacombs and there's like a fire puzzle you have to solve to get like a really cool item.
Mm-hmm. I did everything that I could do.
Yeah.
Did you find? I don't know if it's part of the story, but I found the.
We're in gameplay.
I know, but real quick. No.
Okay. Sorry.
No, I mean like I don't think it's a part of the story, but you can go like backwards on the boat instead of like where you're supposed to go, and you find like the cave with like all the ammo and shit.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I was pretty happy about that.
And there's like a computer in there.
Yeah, I was pretty excited.
That's probably where Chris is.
Oh yeah, because that like foreshadows the
fapping to
ending
porn.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So I had a good time in the gameplay. I don't think there's a single flaw with the gameplay. I really thought it was really good. It was really
the
solid.
parrying? The parrying is new into this game, and I thought it was pretty great.
I kind of wish I played it on normal though, because like it was a little too easy. I think, but I'm sure because
you're
going
gonna play with the big boys now.
Not now. I'm gonna play something else, but no, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. That was really good.
Playing with the big boys.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you.
Ooh.
In the case of Lady Domitrescu playing with the big bitches,
playing with the big bitch now. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna give it a 10. The gameplay was fun. It was flawless. I agree. The added parrying, it was great. I didn't have any problems with it.
There was nothing janky about it.
Yeah, dude.
It's smooth as fuck. Yeah.
I was getting headshots like crazy, like with the werewolves. It was. I was happy myself.
There's like an aim assist sort of thing with it.
I don't give a shit. Take that away from me. I was like,
and if you're, I mean, it took me like maybe an hour or two into the game before I realized if I just shot fast, that it would actually be better than if I like tried to do what I tried to do in 4, where I was like, "Is this right? Am I going to get a headshot?"
I only have like 5 bullets left.
You have to do that on normal, and it sucks because they're cunty with their like. It's almost like a Dark Souls, like fuck you, I'm going to move.
No, they'll move
kinda
around,
slow.
But then they get a fast one. Like you go to finally shoot.
How about the fact that the last boss of this game is just a Dark Souls boss with how much he fucking moves around?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Dude, hers I actually really liked.
When you
I love that boss fight. I'm just saying, it's a fucking Dark Souls boss fight.
When you got 2.5 full clips of Magnum, it's fucking
Did you find the wolf's bane?
easy.
Nothing's getting.
I didn't. I used it once to kill. I used it to kill the 2 mega wolves, and then I saved every bit of it until her. And
there's going to be a final boss in this game.
So I have to hyperfixate on the Magnum because playing 3, I totally missed the Magnum. Oh, no. Like I didn't know you were supposed to crawl under the like. The broken barrier,
it's
so I just
beefy.
I just walked away and I was like whatever, and then like I kept finding like ammo and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get the Magnum soon, and I never fucking did, and then I looked it up and I was like, fuck, if I just crawled in, I was so mad, dude.
Dude, when you get the wolf's bane in this, it is so good. Oh my god,
dude. Playing on like I guess spoiler for like the replayability, playing on a New Game Plus is fun as
you
fuck.
Bitch.
With the wolf's bane, it's because you're like, oh, you're I was scared of you before, bat. And it's like down, dude. It's great.
Do you know how mad how like upset I was when Joe had to take the PS5? I was like, damn it. I got
Sorry,
Yuffie.
I had to take my PS5 back.
I got
another thing spoiling replayability because of like a thing that you unlock after beating the game.
I know.
It really gives you an incentive to want to play it again.
Didn't fucking get to play it though. I had to go. I had to go to work. Joe had to go home.
Yeah.
I 2 games on PS5 I've played. I mean, both by Japanese companies, which is surprising considering the tone and like overall direction of either. Like they're very different. Not that Japanese can't be different, but I just thought it was funny. I'm like, the only 2 things I've played on here is a Japanese survival horror and a Japanese role playing game, and they couldn't be more different in a lot of ways. Like
It's the PlayStation bringing.
Because the Japanese are the only people making good games anymore.
Well, you're just a guest from a homogenous society. They could never be creative.
never. No, I just think it's funny that
Creativity comes from diversity.
yeah, and I just couldn't.
That's why
wait.
we're playing so many games from India.
Yeah,
Sorry. India is a very diverse country. And
No
Brazil.
games.
Brazil's another one. And we're not getting any Brazil games or any Indian games. But anyway.
Okay, so I was like, I didn't know where you were
it was
going with that.
there was no insult involved there.
No,
It
I was
just
like,
a
no, I didn't
reference
think it was
about-
insult,
okay.
but I was like, what games are you playing from India? Like, oh,
We're not.
okay,
Exactly.
that's my thing. Okay, I
yeah.
see. I
There's
see.
sarcasm.
I'm sorry,
they do make amazing movie trailers. I've never watched one of the
Never
movies.
watched a single
dude.
movie.
The
But they look
Bollywood trailers
hilarious.
look, they look great.
They look fucking
fine.
amazing.
I'm surprised have you watched any Bollywood movies? Being your friend,
No, not really. I've seen some movies from India, but not Bollywood. So, and here's the thing with India, and this is watching a musical from another country is already like that's a big ask. Indian movies, apparently, if they don't have songs in them, they're considered an art film. That's why our movies like Marvel and stuff, they don't travel to India. They're considered art films. Like that's considered like snobby kind of shit. Just to watch a
Really?
movie without like a musical act in it.
Wow.
When I found that out, I heard there was an Indian filmmaker who made some art film that was some real art film that was like being like touted around for like a Best Picture nom a couple years ago, and I heard him talking about that, and I was like, what?
Was it the Lion movie?
No, it was the movie where like someone's like sending things back and forth. I've only seen like that. It wasn't Lion. Lion's not an Indian film. It's like British or something.
yeah, same
Oh,
thing.
really?
It's
got the one
It's
Indian
about
guy.
Indian people,
It's
but
got
it's
the
not.
one
Yeah,
guy.
I was gonna say same thing.
I'm
dude. I
saying
lived in
it's
a-
not from India.
Okay,
that
okay.
movie's not from
I
India.
wasn't sure. I didn't.
So the yeah, that was just one thing I heard there, and I'm like, that's why none of like the film snobby people ever recommend things from India. It's just all like big budget, flowery entertainment, and they have a huge audience there because there's 1 billion people in India, and they just serve their own audience, and that's why their movies never travel because they're musicals, and
Nobody cares about musicals anymore. Yeah.
and musicals are I think
They're very culturally based too, so it wouldn't really translate.
Yeah, there's-
you'd be like, what is going on here?
there are some things where I'm guessing that would probably be the case. I know there's like the one I've heard of over and over is Bride and Prejudice. I heard that's a pretty like popular export, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And also like I realized when I heard that, I'm like, have I ever watched a foreign musical? And the answer I think is no. There's like a musical sequence in a French movie I saw, and that was fine, but it's still like a weird thing. Like musicals don't travel, and
Yeah.
that's it. That's the answer there. That's why you don't see Indian movies like being pumped out here during Best Picture nominee season or anything like that. That's not the movies that they're making over there very
Yeah.
often.
We need more culture, India. Come on.
I wouldn't like it's. I would love a world with more movies that I would love to. I'd like to experience. But yeah, India's kind of like this like weird spot where like there's a gazillion people here. Like I've seen a lot of Chinese films. Even with their censorship, they still like pump out some good stuff every once in a while. But India is like this weird, like mysterious kind of movie wise and art wise. It's just like a mysterious like gap in my knowledge. I don't understand it. But sorry,
Bomb ass food though.
has nothing to do with Resident Evil.
Technically Asian food.
So I'm gonna give
It is
this
Asian.
a
It's
10 out of 10 for
amazing. Like,
gameplay.
I love it. It's so fucking good.
I love
Speaking of
the combat's
gameplay,
good.
Asian
Um,
food.
Go ahead, A4.
Yeah, sorry.
it's fine. The combat in this game is good. I love the way that the village is explorable and sort of like each time you come back to it, it kind of reveals something new, very Metroidvania-ish.
Yeah,
For sure.
And the little hidden nooks and crannies hidden throughout, really like it felt like you were actually discovering a cool secret every time it happened.
yeah. I think it's more. It feels more. I don't know what you guys think about this. I think it feels more Dark Souls like to me because Metroidvania. I guess like God of War to me would be more Metroidvania. Like, oh, I can burn the bramble bushes. Now I can go back to this area. But this one is
Right.
more like, it's more like, oh, you can knock this down and now you have a shortcut. You know, and now you can do
that fits too, I think.
So I think, I don't know, maybe it's because I like the Souls games more than Metroid. Maybe that's why I'm thinking that. But I like, yeah, that's true. This game does that a lot. There's a lot of like backtrack and it's like, by the way, now you can open this shit up.
Well, it's just every time you come back to the village, you probably have a new item that'll let you like open up a new path to a new secret or some sort of item that you couldn't get before.
Yeah, it's like you got your main path, but now you got 3 other little paths that you can go explore. And
I was
check
gonna ask you guys. Did you guys fight the cannibal?
out. The cannibal.
Yeah, there's kind of a hidden boss if you go up like certain, like, I can't remember how to get to him now, but like I had found him, and he's in like the water house, like with like the.
Oh, in the mill, kind of.
Yeah, he's in the mill. Like he's massive.
Yeah, I fought him.
I don't know. Let me look him up.
I feel like you have to fight him to get the wolfsbane, or maybe I'm thinking of it wrong.
Do you? I think. Oh, maybe you're right.
I definitely fought the secret boss that's at like the grave site.
Which one's that one?
There's the grave site near the tree, and you're told that there's treasure there, but then you go back there and there's like a big dude with like a hammer.
Oh yeah, I fought him too.
Yeah. But yeah, that I like that whole aspect of this game's layout. And of course, like when you do get classic Resident Evil stuff, like the castle and the factory, it's like peak classic Resident Evil. It's so good.
Oh, man, and that's the weird thing is like even those little sections like the doll maker where it's really not that big, like it almost feels like its own little exclusive section. Kind of like
Well, that's what I mean.
About, like
How's Beneviento? Konami does not have to make PT anymore. Capcom did it. It's that whole section of the game.
yeah.
Down to like the theming and like how shittingly terrifying it is. They straight up take your weapons away.
Yeah. If you wanted to make that PT game, all you'd have to do is like melt the actual physical disc of Death Stranding and Resident Evil 8 and then like forge it into a new blade of a disc, and that would be that game. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get like any PT vibes when I played Death Stranding, but that's just me.
Well, they all the cast. I mean, he wanted to have
oh yeah, that's fair.
Norman
Okay.
Reedus, and it was supposed to be a Silent Hill.
Sorry, go ahead.
Death Stranding to me didn't feel like I can't make PT. I just want to like. It felt more to me like I like
Movies.
I like Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen and all these other people. Yeah,
And I hate games, but I love movies.
and Guillermo del Toro. We'll have him cameo in the game for no reason.
And we'll have an article in there talking about him and his movie.
How good The Shape of Water is, which he's not wrong.
In the Shape of Water.
It's not the best movie, though.
No, but I love that movie.
No, I love that movie too. That was a good Best Picture season, frankly. That was,
Yes,
yeah.
I was really happy when it won. I was like, oh, good.
I would, but-
yeah.
I love fish porn.
I do watch Pan's Labyrinth pretty regularly now. I think
Open
that's
up that
probably
Also a
my
fucking great movie.
favorite movie by him is Pan's Labyrinth for sure.
It's a literal codpiece for him.
Yeah, that's true. Have you gotten to a new section yet while I was in the bathroom?
Did we put all this?
Still gameplay. A4 is going
Oh yeah.
to
I
town.
basically said my piece, 10 out of 10. It's great.
Yeah.
10.
It's a perfect evolution of what 7 did.
Zach?
I said 10 as well. Did I say that out loud?
I don't
Oh,
think
you did already.
Oh, no,
I was
maybe
like,
you
wait
did.
a minute. Did I say that out loud?
Did you give it a 10, Joe?
Yeah, I give it a 10.
No, because I said
Is
I
Schweiss the only
dared
person
you.
who didn't talk about
right.
gameplay score? Or?
Yeah. All right, so gameplay. It took me a minute to get into the game. I was kind of weirded out at first. I was like, hey, what's going on? The storybook thing. I know that's part of the story, but I was like, what
That's
the
not gameplay.
I was sitting there like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Because I've heard nothing about it. I have like made sure I know nothing other than there's a really tall bitch that Zach wants to fuck. Yeah. That's all he can talk about. That's it. That's all I know. And there's a castle. And I assumed it was mostly in the castle, so it was going to be like a Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
Kind of like
That's what I thought too.
Just the
100%.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, whatever. And so I started out, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like Coraline. It's like some fucking crazy shit. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, okay, it was just a little thing, like in the beginning. And then I, sit down at the dinner table, and then there's a bunch of people that start showing up. And then my wife gets blasted, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck's going on here? And then it's Chris, and then like it took me, like the first day I played it, I was like, this is fun. It's a good time. Like, but I don't know. The second day on, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Like everything is super smooth. Like the way you shoot, the way you like interact with the world, like it just feels right. And when you get that bolt action rifle, those fucking werewolf guys don't stand a chance, dude. They're up there like ready on the roofs, and you're just shooting their fucking faces off.
You would call them vampire bats. I would call them. Are they werewolves?
Yeah, they're werewolves.
Yeah,
They're
Flying-
Lycans, yeah.
the like.
No, not the gargoyles.
Oh, no.
the
Those
werewolves
guys
that, like,
too.
they climb on the roofs.
Yeah,
Those are pretty much the only thing I use that regular rifle for.
Oh yeah, no,
The
dude,
flying
I
guys?
would.
yeah. It's great against them. One shot kill.
But then I got the stabilizer from the store, and then suddenly the rifle became really useful. I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
I used it against
When you
robots.
get like the achievements that unlock all the points after you beat the game, there's an achievement for killing one of those things with a landmine.
Oh my god.
I did it somehow by accident, but yeah.
Come on, bitch! You got it in your hand. Like, come on.
Now there's a part where you run into some of them when you're walking up towards the house that burned down, and since it's on like an incline, you can kind of trick them into running into it.
Oh, okay. I use it against the house when they're like up at the top of the castle. Oh yeah, it's just pull that shit out and they just fall. And then you see them in the distance kind of fucking around, and I would just wait till they were above an area where I could for sure pick up whatever item they drop, and you just fucking pop them. I loved upgrading the guns. I thought the Duke was super cool.
It was great to have a merchant back, 100%.
Yeah, I liked how you could just go up to them and you could like find rare animals.
I forgot to mention that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and you would bring it over to him, and he would make you like a special recipe that will increase your in-game statistics forever. And the thing, man, I told Joe like 3 times. I was like, Joe. I told him physically, I was like, Joe, remember, when you find food items like chickens, kill them and give them to the Duke guy. Don't sell them. Just give them to the Duke guy. And then he texts me, he's like, oh, shit, I've been selling the food. I'm like, dude. No.
Yep. I definitely missed out on some boosts for sure.
I think I killed
Because of that.
all but one of them, and I don't think I found a patch of fish, because I think you should be able to get all the upgrades. I don't know for sure.
You can, yeah. I just shot him in the rivers.
Did you upgrade yourself all the way in one playthrough?
No.
Oh, maybe you can't then. But I think there was a rare pig. That's something that I couldn't find.
The rare pig, you know the house where you meet the old man and the daughter before
Yeah.
you go inside the house that burns down? It's like in their backyard.
Yeah, it's that one.
Oh, fuck.
So I didn't realize at
I
first.
killed that.
I
Yeah.
saw it move and I thought it was a zombie, so I threw a grenade. I was like, ah! And
I shot it and
I was
it
like-
didn't die and it like started to attack me. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck this.
I was like, you dare attack me, swine?
I am the god of your world.
Swine.
Yeah. A4, it probably just like bent over for him, like put the apple in its mouth. Take me. Just put the gun up his ass. Because he's King Hog.
All right.
of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really liked the gunplay. I think it's very smooth. The zombies or the werewolves are just cunty enough to, like, with their little bobby bobbing, like, oh, but like they're doing a little dance gig. And then you get the shotgun and you're like, you can dance all you want, fucker, but you're done. Like, you can
Well,
do
because
whatever
it's
you
like
want.
when they announced 7 and they're like, how the fuck is a Resident Evil game going to work in first person? It's going to be so easy to shoot the zombies. And then they like made them do all this crazy shit because they're weird mold creatures. And then in 8, they're just like, make it harder.
Dang it. A Resident Evil game where it's not impossible to kill something.
Yeah.
Not having
That's
like
not scary though, Joe.
godlike powers to be able to like get a headshot in fucking Resident Evil 4. I have no idea how you guys played that game.
Dude, just wait till you get the
I've given
guys.
it many tries, I will say.
I
It's
love
not
it,
like
dude.
one and done. Like, it was fucking like restart the game, restart at least 3 times.
You got to get it on PS4. It's on PS4.
Yeah, the remake's on PS4.
I'm not going to
You
buy
gotta
the
get the
game
Wii
for the
version where you can aim
third
with the
time.
remote.
Hey,
I bought that game.
If you buy it digitally, you'll always
Yeah,
have it.
if you buy it, we can review it.
I think we have it upstairs in the box too. I think you have
I'm
a
sure it
PS2
is.
copy.
Yeah, that will be that's copy number 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way it plays. I like the puzzles, the little like ball drop things. Those were so cool. It was like such a cool little
It was bizarre, but
mini
yeah,
game.
that was
And you're-
fun.
I love the memes on it. Like there's memes where it's just like he just like puts it in the hole and like he's like, why would I do this puzzle?
Yeah,
I could
exactly.
just plug it in.
Yeah.
I thought that every time. I was like, why? Why?
You got it's the spirit. It's not the. And then somebody was like saying that on the thing, and I was like, you know what? You're probably the kind of guy that's like, why wouldn't they just ride the Eagles and drop the ring in right away? Like, because it's not about the fucking end goal. It's about the journey. down the fucking little puzzle with the ball.
No, it just turns out Ethan Winters really loves pachinko.
Yeah.
He just plops the ball and he's like, he's like clapping his hands like, ooh, it's fun.
Oh, move it to the side. Oh, look, it went down the waterfall. Yeah, the last one was like, it took me a minute. And I was like, that was when you were sitting here, and I was like, come on. Because I got the ball. Dude, you're going to hate me for this, but I could have beat the game probably about 45, 50 minutes earlier than I did. Because I backtracked in the machine place, and I got lost for like a while.
You got lost looking for the ball machine that was right across from him.
I got lost from there, and I also got lost going back with the ball mold, and then I unlocked the elevator ability to just go from that floor to the other floor, and it was like no time. I thought I had to go back before we moved on, because I was like, the game's not going to let me do this puzzle unless I walk all the way back there. And then I unlocked the fucking elevator to that level, and I just like elevated back down, went elevated back up, and it was like 2 seconds. I was like, oh man, Joe would be so mad. Because he's sitting here like for hours.
I was sitting here for a little while, just waiting for my PS5.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there just like, I know I'm supposed to rush this, but I got to do this ball puzzle. I found the ball mold, and I kept going back for the new molds, even though I wasn't using the elevator. I was just walking all the way, and it's a fucking long walk. And I got lost every time I went back. And the map, I was just like, what the fuck is
the
this?
map is a fucker in that one. I had probably, after I got the molds the last time, because you get the ball mold and then you get the other mold, I was like, where the fuck is that room? Where is that room? And
his office?
Like, I knew where it was. Like, I could see it, but I couldn't, like, figure out how to get back to it. And then that's when the guy, like, pops up and he's, like, chasing you. Of course, when I'm lost in the game and I'm like, I don't know where to go, and I'm like, keep on going to this fucking circle of hell, like throughout this thing, and I was like, oh, I have to dodge past him and then go up, and
and then you get Heisenberg's hammer.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was an optional area, but it's really not. I was like, oh, I got this game figured out. This
gotta
is
go
gonna
back
be
for that last key or whatever. Yeah.
It's like, this is gonna be the special area, and then it was the actual area, and I was like, fuck. I thought I was doing something naughty here to Joe. Just like, I'll play even more, bitch. That's where I had to go anyway.
So what would you give gameplay?
I'm going to give it a 10. I think it was a lot of fun. The puzzles were really cool. The levels were cool. I liked finding the little lock picks and then going and like picking up new items. Like, there's a lot of stuff to explore. There's a lot of like gems in the ceiling. There's the thing from 4 that I loved that they had in Resi 4 where you combine treasures. Like, you'll find different pieces for
like the rings and
treasures.
stuff.
I would have never been able to figure it out myself. I got stuck. I think that was the first time I got stuck in something. It was like I had like the eye or whatever for the painting.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know how to get it out.
What the fuck? I have it in my inventory. It says I think. What the hell else would it be? I had to look it up. That's when I had to look at it. It was like, oh, you have to like look at it?
Yeah.
You have to spin it around on the screen. And I was like, oh my
and
God.
And see, 7 did that.
I would have never ever known how to do that.
I was going to ask you how that worked out for you, because when I first did it in 7, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is it asking for? Like, because that was the same thing. I was like, I've got it. It's in my fucking hands. And then I go open it up in the menu, and then I like move it around, and there's like, ooh, what's this? And like he just like pulls it out of the box.
Oh, you ran across it on accident?
Yeah, in 7, yeah.
I would have never done that. I would have never clicked on the item to just look at it. Because I'm not.
It's kind of a holdover from the old Resident Evils as well.
Kind of.
I want to see all the items I have. Look at it.
I don't remember it being quite the same, though. I think that's a new thing.
No, being able to like
investigate
stuff. Items like that in 3D space is definitely not new for the series.
I don't know, man. I remember being able to combine stuff in the olden days, but I don't remember being able to like, you had to like turn it upside down, and there's like a little finger hole, and then when you finger it, then it like, oh, look at this, there's the thing you need.
Yeah. I mean, I started getting it later after that one thing. And when I got confused about something, I'd look it up.
And then the puzzle house, the doll house was super cool. The whole thing was just like a little mystery puzzle, and you had to open the little parts and interact with the thing. Yeah, the gameplay is definitely a 10. A lot of fun to play. I can't wait to play it again now that I got that PS5.
Wink, wink.
We're pretty late into this episode, so we kind of have to go through the other categories a little quickly. Music and sound. Soundscape's really cool. At least on my TV it was, and I didn't wear it with headphones. We already kind of touched upon it a little bit. The voice acting, mostly good. The main character, Ethan, not great. Not great. Kind of soured. Probably soured the story for me a little bit. Honestly, is like his performance was just left something to be desired. Like he always felt like a guy in a booth saying lines he's not comfortable saying. It never felt like a real character. It just felt like an actor trying to. I don't know.
It felt like a Tupperware container left out in the sun, a little moldy.
It was not a good performance. It was like not a good voice performance. I was originally off-put by Heisenberg, but I eventually like kind of got.
I liked his voice. It was like just goofy.
Yeah, by the end I liked it, but at first I was like, why does he sound like he's a Redditor?
I've seen the trailer, so I was like, whatever.
It's a Redditor. But yeah, it's mostly the main character's voice where I just don't think that's a good performance. Like not much of it very good either. Like it's not like he's mostly good. It's like whenever he talks and he's like, like it's just over the top or something like that. And I don't know what it is. Like I can't quite put my finger on it, but it did not work for me, that voice actor. So I'm going to give the sound and music 8 out of 10. Mostly great, just a voice actor I feel like wasn't cast right.
He's not in a booth, by the way. It should be mentioned, if you watch the behind the scenes stuff, they're like actually mocapping those scenes and acting them out live. I guess kind of like how Naughty Dog does it with like Last of Us or Uncharted.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
is that how they look? That's how that guy looks then? Is that what you're saying?
Sort of, kind of, yeah.
That's what they've started to do with games where, like, God of War, the guy who plays...
Is Lady Dimitrescu that tall? Fuck yeah, bro.
No. But, like, if you watch the behind-the-scenes shit when you unlock it, it's... Yeah, you can kind of see where they're coming from with that.
Yeah, I don't think he was a good actor. Not for this.
Makes sense.
I think he's like having Michael Madsen as your main. You know who that guy is? It's this guy.
Mads Mikkelsen.
No, Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen. Yeah, that guy who's like kind of the goofy character. He's in Kill Bill. He plays one of the...
He's the brother.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, it's like having him as your main guy. He's like a dollar store version of like other people who are good, and he's like kind of goofy. He's kind of goofy. Yeah, he's like kind of a goofy main, and I think that's how Heisenberg. What he reminded me of.
Heisenberg reminded me. Okay, what do you guys think about Ethan's performance? That's what I'm talking about. It's like the.
I mostly agree with what you're saying.
I don't think
he's not fantastic, but it didn't really bother me just because I was already used to it from 7.
Yeah, I like saying.
Oh, maybe that's why it was pulling me out all the time, like pulling me out of that game. Like
he seemed a little over the top sometimes. Yeah,
I think it was just overacting.
Like he's freaking out over stuff, and you're like, and you were just walking.
To be fair, the shit keeps happening to him.
Yeah, but I mean, for the last 20 minutes, I've been backtracking with lockpicks. Like, why is he so pissed off suddenly? You know,
I'd be pissed off suddenly. Like,
I'm just gonna kick the lock
another
open.
fucking. I have a Magnum.
Yeah. Think your little table, your little fucking desk drawer is gonna stop this?
What'd you guys think of the Sound of Music?
Music was pretty good. I liked it. I like this music a lot. Sound effects great. They always do a good job with like the ambiance. It's always fantastic. I think I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Like, yeah, Ethan's the voice actor was like, but it didn't take me out of it. So like, I thought I was fine.
It took me right the fuck out.
I was fine
when you're in that burning house and he was with the lady. I was like,
everyone keeps
that seems pretty lame.
Everybody keeps dying on me. Yeah, that was the thing. It was like,
what the fuck?
And it wasn't necessarily his lines. Like, I'm sure they would be hard to perform.
It was the delivery.
It was the delivery
for sure.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, like if the Chris voice actor was doing his voice instead, I don't think it would have been as bad.
No.
Like there's other guys in there that are really good. Yeah, like you're saying.
Pretty much everybody else was good.
Yeah.
It's just him.
What are you gonna give it then, Joe?
He already said 8 out of 10.
Oh, you said 8. Sorry, I didn't hear you. I was looking up that.
I listened to you and your input.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna give it.
Thank you.
It's either an 8 or a 9. Like I don't really remember the music. It was effective. It's mostly based on the soundscape.
The music at the very end with Chris was fucking sweet. Of course, that whole section was just like...
The whole section's amazing.
We're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember. It's one of those games where I don't really remember the soundtrack because it's just sort of like ambient. Like it's not really there. I mean, besides like the save room theme. The save room theme in this is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm going to give it I'm going to give it an 8 for Sound of Music. It's really good. It's just, some of those performances were a little flat, and I don't really remember the music besides the save room.
And the Duke was really good. Thinking back on it too, I like the Duke a lot.
Duke's great.
Yeah, the Duke's performance is fucking fantastic.
I think I'll give it a 9. I think the soundtrack, it was very. I think the sounds were really, really well done, and I didn't play it with headphones, so I didn't get the same effect that I did on 7 and 2 and 3, and all the recent ones have been like the sound has just been.
On.
Yeah, it's been weird. Like with these horror games, like that's a big part of it, and like I've started to notice.
Oh, 100% is like
it's been like a big deal. And
Yeah.
Last of Us 2 had a great sound. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3,
Resident
7.
Last of Us 2 was like really good on sound.
Yeah.
Not so much story, but sound was so good.
Yeah, and like that's been like a big thing.
Well, it's like when you
lately.
even like don't go into horror movies like or horror games. You get Ghost of Tsushima. Sounds beautiful.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. It's
We've
been like a focus lately.
there's been a good like few years around that we've had fantastic sounds and
Yeah, I do think Ethan is kind of hammy, and yeah, that's probably it. And Heisenberg was like weirding me out in the beginning. I was like, this guy sounds like
His voice
goofy.
doesn't match his face.
Yeah,
But then, like, I think the voice matches the character, though.
it does match the character. Yeah, just kind of
So-
like a.
Kind of molds in there. I don't know.
He's just kind of
I
like
see it in there.
a.
molds in.
That was actually accidental. But
I don't
thank you.
care. You still did it.
He's got like it's like a highly emotional like wreck, so the voice does match his motivations and everything else. But yeah, his face, it's fucking weird coming out of that.
Did you guys
look right.
You expect
see-
something like gravelly coming out of that voice.
Yeah.
Did
Like
you
Clint
guys-
Eastwood.
Yeah.
Did you guys see any like the controversy, like the fake controversy on Twitter over Ethan? So like they ended up showing a picture of like what his face like could look like because you never see his face, right? Like, and that's a big thing. And like so like did it and like all these like there's a couple like people that went up there and they're like, of course he's a white man. Of course he's a white man. Why would he be a white man? Of course he would. And I'm like, you see his hands when you play the game? Like obviously he's gonna be a white dude. And like there's
Nobody's
just,
blonde. That's like super
yeah,
white.
they were like, yeah, that was like literally the thing. They were like, looks like a white supremacist. He looks like he'd tell you this. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
shut the
These
fuck.
Japanese people.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was just because I know one of the
them
accounts
and
that was
their white
saying those.
supremacy.
They
she's a game
were
developer
on the
and she's
Axis.
crazy, so.
They were on the Axis team. I mean, they've internalized their white supremacy due to their allyship with Germany in 1940s.
Their empire was much bigger than Germany's. Actually.
Oh, it was pretty big, yeah. Admittedly, they had easier targets, but they steamrolled the fuck out of that entire area of the world. Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, in a like horrible way.
In a work campy,
In a work campy rape kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, I don't know. Yeah, that was stupid. People freak out about everything. And then
Yeah.
I saw stuff about the Lady D. They're like, sorry, no, your white, cis, hetero female character isn't compelling. And I was like, how do you know she's straight? I mean, I didn't.
Why does she have to be compelling? She's not the main character.
Well, they were like, well, they're putting strong female characters in, but it's not enough. Because it's never
She's
enough.
Fucking evil. Why does it matter? Okay.
Yeah, because
weird.
if it would have
Weird.
been like a person like
Also,
if
what
had
it
been
says about them, have we had this discussion before? It's like people are just like defaulting to white from these Japanese games and they're just assuming everybody is white. Like, and they're assuming also that the makers, maybe they are choosing people that look Caucasian.
Because they
but
know the market is.
They're doing it for they're having different reasons for
They
doing
have to,
that.
yeah.
Dude,
It's not. They're Japanese. It's 99% Japanese people
and they
in
don't,
Japan.
They don't care about this kind of shit. Like
They tend to not care about it.
See,
for
here's
what
the
I'd
thing too.
say.
Like it goes down to like the whole controversy over
It's people
the,
thinking anime are white people. Anime people are not white people. Anime people are probably Japanese people.
I
Sometimes
disagree.
Sometimes they're not.
But like, no,
Sometimes
so like,
they're not.
that's actually a main controversy they did with like the Ghost in the Shell movie when it came out with Scarlett Johansson.
yeah.
Is people were like, "Oh my God, she's playing the main character. She's Japanese," and like the creator of Ghost in the Shell was like, "No, I always saw her as a white chick." Like he's like, "Yeah, I saw her as a white person." They're like, "No, she's Japanese," and he's like, "No, literally, like I'm telling you, like she's." Not. And they're like,
I may or may
"Can't
not
watch
have
this."
made a troll account on Twitter called "Your Faves Are White," and it's mostly just me saying that certain anime characters are white.
It's funny, and it's like
God.
it's pretty fucking funny.
That wasn't
people didn't
wasn't
know.
as bad as I was expecting. Like when you started saying that, I mean, Joe just looked at Joe like, "Oh God, no! What have you done? Right? Do not say what it's called. If this."
But it's like characters, like he gets characters that clearly aren't white, and he's like,
Yeah.
this person's white.
Well,
and
know-
it's just funny because people get mad about it. Like, it's awesome.
It's not that clear because anime people don't look like people.
Yeah.
No one looks like an
Joe-
anime.
Wow, how dehumanizing, Joe.
It's fucking a cartoon. It's someone drawing on a thing, and those. Even like, okay, Disney characters don't look like people.
Hurts a little bit.
Anime people don't look like people. When they do those cartoons, they're cartoonized versions of people don't actually look like people. Like,
You're telling me
then
people
why am I
don't have a
jerking off to
Pixar
that?
ass?
if you printed out a human being in front of me that looked like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, I'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what is wrong with her?
No, because there is a meme. There is a meme that references
eyes
that. Where
are
like
like
I don't know if you've
that
ever
much
seen like the
versus
anime girl like face masks that they have, where it's like a full plastic face that goes over your face, and it's just like, why are you scared? I thought this is what you wanted.
No, I think the Ghost in the
So
Shell
it's,
thing.
it's a little silly to just like default on things that,
No, I
yeah.
that are so like America white centric.
No, but see, that's
so weird.
That's their internalized racism, and they'll never see
That's
it.
the
Well, it's
imperial.
them also like assuming that like that's what they're going for.
Joe, it's the
also a racist assumption.
it's
is
the
that,
result of white imperialism
yeah, because
on the world.
how many times was Japan taken over by a colonialist country?
0, I guess.
0.
They were put in their place by one,
It
but
sounded like Schweizer's like studying an H was like 0, I guess.
It was.
I don't know.
0. Japan has never been colonized.
they
Because
have
they
been-
have
they
the
were
tactical
obliterated.
location of being on an
They were.
island.
They were.
If this was an Age of Empires thing, they'd win
They
full
were.
stop.
They were beaten by a foreign power one time in their entire history,
USA,
and it took a fucking atom bomb to take them down.
It took the greatest empire the world's ever seen to do it. Yeah, that's true. And they're still around, so
Yeah. so
like,
They're a post-apocalyptic society.
what kind of racial thing did they internalize? That's what I'm
well, they
questioning.
should hate us. If
yeah.
that's, I mean,
They did then.
that's true. Too bad.
And some people who live around the army base still do. There's a lot of hate for U.S. imperialism there.
Yeah, I can see that.
But so they're not internalizing racism and making a bunch of white people
Yeah.
gays because
Well, and
they must.
when it goes to the Ghost in the Shell thing, and we brought this up with The Rock playing the disabled character and then apologizing for it. The thing is like if they don't have the Scarlett Johansson or Dwayne Johnson, there is no
they
movie.
can't finance the movie without a star.
Who's going to fucking pay for that? There's not going to be no money's going to be made, and it might be most of the budget's going to go to that one person, but that's kind of what they're banking on. Is like, well, we'll make it work with Scarlett Johansson, a huge name, and then hopefully we'll make our money back, or else. There's no Ghost in the Shell movie. So you can either decide to have some things that aren't perfect in your perfect little intersectional world, or you can choose to have nothing, which is really what you deserve for being such
But then
a piece
you'll
of
be
shit.
asking, why don't we have a Ghost in the Shell movie?
Because you don't want it. Because you can't have it.
it's
Yeah.
exactly like so.
How
Like,
come the
I mean,
villains in
I agree
Resident
with
Evil
that, but
Village
there's
were
a part
black?
of me who's like, well, we probably should have. It would be a good opportunity to have some Asian stars.
listen,
Yeah.
I went and saw
We haven't-
Shang-Chi. I did my part.
I saw
only
Gran
reason-
Torino.
Yeah.
Admittedly, they're all ingrates now, but and they're also not. They weren't good actors in the movie. But
No, they were terrible actors.
they were,
yeah.
they were given a chance.
I mean, but the thing is, they wouldn't do that with a big franchise movie, which is Ghost in the Shell.
yeah,
So
that's true.
they
That's
would
true.
like. It would be nice to see more diversity in smaller films, and then you can like create some stars out of that system because that's what it takes.
Yeah. But you
uh,
can't do it with the big movie. Yeah,
No,
with
you
the
can't
Ghost
do
in
it.
the Shell.
There has to already be a star there, or else they won't finance the movie. I mean, that's just like the reality. It's a sad reality of it, and it shouldn't be the way it is, but that is the way it is, especially when Ghost of the Shell came out.
Yeah, or like
I think
even-
now they could put I guess they could put Aquafina on it. I mean, she
No,
might,
dude,
might be a
there's
big enough star,
There's
but
a
I
chick.
don't know.
Nah, dude, there's a chick in Shang-Chi who's like his sister, and she's like one of the hottest Asian chicks I've ever seen.
Okay.
I fell in love. So she could totally be in the.
But you got to have a,
Aquafina was also
That's not my
in the Shang-Chi movie, but
She was-
she's been in like 3 big movies
You
in
know
a
what,
row.
though? So
and I'm like, okay, well, maybe Aquafina could be Ghost
she,
in the Shell.
honestly,
lady
she
in a
like
row.
honestly, she kind of bugged me because like I just didn't like
She
her
wouldn't-
voice. Her
she's
voice
not the
is
right
very grating.
cast for that. But
No,
yeah.
she was actually really good as like the
No,
part
I
she was
mean
all-
for Ghost in the
Okay.
Shell, but
But like no,
go
like
ahead.
I was like really impressed. Like she was pretty good.
She's really good. The Farewell is the movie that she kind of got a big start in. And that's an amazing movie from like 2 years ago.
I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah, I just don't like her voice.
Oh,
I don't like that.
I like the raspy voice.
I don't like that. Like I just got done smoking like a big ass cigarette. Like
I think raspy voices are sexy.
like she's about to cough up a furball. I don't know. Yeah, that's the difference with
What's our next one?
graphics and design.
Graphics and design, 10
10
out
out
of
of
10.
10. Yep.
10 out of 10. Fucking Resident Evil or the RE engine again, looking fucking incredible.
They say that, but really it's like just the Havoc engine. And then they're like RE engine.
Beautiful game. And I think all but like 2 of the cutscenes were not pre-rendered, so it was like, and it's
You can
really
say it's
good.
you can say it's the Havoc engine, by the way, Schweiss, but this and 7 and fucking Devil May Cry 5 all look way better than virtually every other game I've ever seen.
Yeah, and they've been.
This is also the first like PS5 game.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
it
looks good, man.
PS5 game that I've played.
It looks good, other than the Yuffie, but
I don't think they really upped the graphics that much for the 7 remake stuff.
it looks great. But yeah, I didn't notice. I mean, I was busy playing the fucking Fort Condor game
Fort
for about
Condor
7
minigame,
hours.
Yep.
I definitely couldn't even run this shit at max settings, and I have like a pretty good graphics card.
Yeah.
So-
I love the design too. Like the design of the castle was super cool, and then just how
Dude,
different each
I
area
made
felt.
liberal use of that photo mode in certain scenes. Like when you first walk up to House Beneviento and it's like on the hill there next to the fucking waterfall. It's just like, oh god, it's so good.
Yeah, I don't ever use the photo modes. I think there was a trophy for it, and I kind of like sensed that there was one, so I activated it, and then I just got it and I left. And I was like, all right, like it's a cool idea, but like
I didn't ever press that button.
yeah,
I did on accident, and I got the trophy.
like ooh, look at that. But I think that's another one of those like jerking yourself off to your own game.
They can do it, dude. I'll let them.
Yeah, it's great looking
I'll let
though.
him jerk himself off.
That is
It's
the,
fine.
that is the most
as long as it's not
detailed
my hand, I
baby
don't care.
fetus I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah,
We're not gonna Dutch rudder.
Inside out baby.
yeah.
You'll never.
Okay, but with graphics, though, like if you look at a picture of Lady Demetrius, they put stretch marks on her boobs.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow, that much detail.
Yeah, no, that's what's insane about it. They put so much goddamn detail. It's
This
awesome.
game has fucking tit vein technology.
Yeah, dude, for real. They knew what Daddy liked, and they did it. Thank you, Japanese. I trust you fully.
Yeah, Capcom has the faith.
But yeah, that was like some people were freaking out. Like that was one of the bigger things they started releasing photos. Is they're like, dude, there's like
Look at her tits.
Well, that's what it was. It was like, wait, like, did they actually put like they went that far into like that's it was crazy.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Wonder Woman has thigh
They need to
jiggle.
start
We have a booba mux.
They need to start putting it on muscly guys like in the corner of their
Yeah,
arms.
yeah. Like when Chris like loses weight, he's just gonna have like flappy
Flap
skin.
skin. He punched like.
Yeah,
Still don't have the flappy skin. Of course, I filled out some of it in the last couple months, but
yeah. No pancake.
hasn't happened yet. The pancake doesn't. It hasn't happened. No pancake. No hanging pancake.
No pain.
I told
Keto.
you, I will stop losing weight. Well, I have stopped losing weight, but I will definitely stop trying to lose weight if I have the pancake.
Pancakes are keto.
This is my keto pancake.
I mean, he's gotta gain more muscle then.
I lost 4 pounds in the last couple of weeks.
I mean, how much fucking muscle can he gain in the ab area though? Like,
Enough.
you can get big abs, but like it's gotta be
You
filling
can get
that
the
skin
Ninja
in.
Turtle abs if you're taking supplements and shit.
There you go. See, perfect. You got it.
You know, like the bodybuilders from like 2005-ish, they always had these like big bellies because they were taking insulin shots, I believe, so that they could eat all those calories without getting the fat from the glycogen from it turning into fat. And it created like these big, like weird Ninja Turtle like muscly stomachs, but they're round. It's weird looking.
I know what you're talking about. It's odd. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
It's weird looking. It does not look like. I feel like Arnold maybe have the perfect body, but like, and these guys are like still doing the same contest he was, but those were what were winning.
Yeah.
Like these Ninja Turtle looking guys.
And then you think, you know, what'll actually look like if you lose weight and start getting really in shape is like Christian Bale, you know, as Batman. Like,
Yeah,
he's fucking
lean,
tiny, but he has like
lean.
massive abs
And he's got
shit.
muscle, but he's just a lean guy with muscle. You know?
Yeah, that's what it'll actually look like.
So he's not like a
Am I
big.
doing something wrong if I look like Christian Bale in The Machinist?
Probably.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
Although maybe it's just not ordering enough from that fucking custom food hellhole that you
Yeah.
talk about all the time.
So we all got 10s on that
Wawa?
category.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wawas.
Or Sheets.
Sheets.
Which, by the way, I found a fast food tier list that has those on there, so we good to go,
Oh
baby.
my God.
Yeah, well, we can't all tier things that we don't know.
It's got to be national.
It's okay. I'll put it in S tier for you guys.
National.
Has 0.
All right. Last category, guys.
The most important category.
Easily. Replayability. Do you want to play the game again?
10.
Did you play the game
10.
again?
Absolutely 10. I already
I
did.
have already started doing it back when I beat it, and I will say the fucking completion point system, which I think started with the 3 remake,
Two had it.
where you unlock points based on what you've done in the playthrough, and then you can use that to unlock a bunch of extra shit for new playthroughs. It's fucking genius.
Sorry, I just ate the mic. I don't know why.
If I did that, I would
Yeah,
have to
I
go to
was.
the
I'm
hospital.
like, did I do something wrong? What?
No, you're good. I think 2 had that as well. It might have been different. I think the 2 make had that too. You know what he's talking about? Where like at the end of the game, you get like all these points for what you did during
Yeah.
the game.
2 make?
The 2 make, yeah.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake.
It's only cool because
Wow.
of 3 make. Because 3
Okay.
make is like,
All right.
colloquial.
Got it.
Well, I mean, people were calling the fucking first Resident Evil remake back on the GameCube a remake.
Yeah, those people are lame. That's why they had GameCubes. Had a couple good games, but I mean, come on.
Resident Evil 4 is
If you're
supposed to be that's the best version.
if you're getting pussy, you got a PlayStation or an Xbox. That's just all there is to it. If
You
you're
got,
GameCube,
yeah, but did PlayStation 2 have a fucking chainsaw-looking controller? I think
no,
not.
that is fucking sweet. But if you're the GameCube guy, you're the kid that has like the little GameCube and the little like with the little like TV attachment, and he's playing it in
got the Mickey Mouse eardos on the old square TV.
yeah, and he's playing it in the electronics wing of Provo High, and he stinks to fucking hell.
It sounds like
you've
you've met this person.
Yeah, his name's Shadow. He smells. He's got like black everything, and he just would play. He would play Metroid Prime like
Shadow
all day.
nickname.
That's what
Shadow.
he nicknamed him,
Okay.
yeah.
all right.
I think he works at one of the
His
Walmarts.
last name's
Saw
the
him.
Hedgehog.
Yeah, no. But he would just all lunch long. He would just be in there like playing Metroid Prime, nothing but Metroid Prime. And I was pretty jelly of that. Like,
It's a good game.
Little,
I've never heard you say that word ever.
yeah, it's uncomfortable.
And I feel disgusted.
I don't feel. I feel like I need to shower now that I said it. But I was a little bit jealous.
I was
of like,
say hella before that too, so it's hella jelly.
hella. I was
so I
hella
could just
jelly.
feel 10 out of 10 uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a 10 for me, Doug. Like, no, I felt it was that's what he would do though. I was really jealous of the little screen that you could buy that connects to the GameCube. I was like, oh, that is so fucking cool, and like it had its own little like power
Power
source. Yeah, and now I'm obsessing over getting one for the PlayStation 1 because they had one too,
Yeah, they did.
and
They
like
did. I remember that.
I've been thinking about it lately, and I'm like, I bet it looks
That'd
like
be a
shit.
good way so you don't have to pull out the fucking TV.
The old TV, yeah.
Play those old games. Good idea.
Tempting.
I borrowed that TV. That was fun. Transport.
So you said 10 out of 10 for replayability, Zach.
Yeah.
I am interested in replaying it, but I don't know if I ever will.
10. Perfect.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
I told you not to bring this goddamn score down.
It's not that down by that much.
A4.
Afer?
Replayability is easy 10. It's so good.
Okay, so Joe, remember,
I
Joe's
have
doesn't
started
count
replaying
on
it
this
already on
review.
hard.
I agree. It's a 10 easy. I wanted to play it. Like, I was like, when I went to work that night, I was kind of like mad. I was like, fuck. Like, I want to play those 2 games again. I want to play Yuffie on hard, and I want to play Resident Evil Village again just for the hell of it, just to figure out, like, I've got a couple things that I didn't grab in the end, like a couple of the treasures that I was like, oh, I really need to beat this game. Like, I
Get all
can't.
those wooden goats.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
find all the wooden goats, the little clickety-clack. The wooden goat. There's a lot of shit to do. I didn't touch the mercenaries mode, which is the timed trial of like killing everything as fast as you can, and like getting more time and like killing more enemies, finding more dudes.
It's like an arcade mode, basically.
Yeah, it's like an arcade. It's like a rail shooter in the spirit of Resi 8, which they've had for years.
Huh.
It's a really fun game mode. And the 7 one was really cool because it was not only like a arcade mode, like build it during that round, but you would like save up funds and you would upgrade like your items and like your shit so that you would get stronger over time to hold off for longer, kind of thing. Oh no, but the one in 7 they had was actually like a comedy thing. It was you were feeding the redneck guy food, and you had to like go around and like the zombies. You would kill the zombies, and that would give you extra time. And you'd have to like find and combine dishes to like make them happy. It was like a weird play on it where you were trying to find other items instead of killing zombies, and the zombies gave you the time as opposed to the zombies being the objective and the little time things giving you time. It was like a reverse. I haven't played any of that. None of the New Game Plus stuff. It's all there, just fucking waiting. And I just was like, all right, well, here's the game. Like I was like kind of bugged when I went to work that night. I was like, man, I want to play it again, but I can't.
I want to quit my job and just play Resident Evil.
Yeah, can I make a living off of Resident Evil?
When you get a PS5, are you gonna have to rebeat Resident Evil 8?
Maybe. I mean, Joe's leaving his.
You can put your save up into the cloud or whatever.
Yeah. Are you leaving it? Did you bring it up here?
Yeah, I told the PS5's in that bag right behind you.
Don't look at it, Zach. It doesn't exist.
He already told me I could take it if I wanted to.
Oh, really?
Said he could steal it.
Suck my dick.
I'm just
Nice.
kidding. No, you're fine. I'm just kidding.
It's got Resident Evil 8 in the thing. I never took the case with me. It's just in the PS5.
Nice. So that'll be a giveaway, by the way, guys.
Oh.
So bring the fucking case.
Yeah, so
I didn't have the case.
it's here.
I never took the case.
Just kidding.
I never took the case!
What's in the case?
Nothing, because it's in my this is in my PS5. Maybe a manual. I have no idea.
None do manuals anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
It sucks.
So, what's our score?
All right, so recapping the scores on this Resident Evil Village. A4 gave it an 8 for story. Schweiss and Zach also did. And Joe, myself, gave it a 7. Gameplay 10s across the board. That's the way I referred to me as not me.
Choice.
So I had to be you. Graphics and design 10s across the board. Sound and music 8 from A4, 8 from Joe, and 9s from Zach and myself. Replayability 10 for A4, me, and Zach, and an 8 for Joe. And that is going to be a combined.
It's a really good game.
6, 8.
You just try to make us wouldn't beat Halo, you bastard.
You were like
I do think I like Halo 3 more.
183 out of 200, which translates to a 91.5
So a 91.
or a 91 out of 100.
Halo
for-
3 was 93.
Yep, Halo 3 is a 93.
You did this on purpose.
91 out of 100.
You did this on
Resident Evil.
purpose, Joe.
I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't know what my scores were going to be before I sat down in this chair and we started talking.
Our
Totally
official
doesn't count.
Resident Evil 7 Biohazard score was a 92.
Oh, wow. So
So-
pretty close.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
agree with that. I actually do think this game is better than 7.
This game is better. Yeah.
And I didn't think I would think that because when I played 7, I was like, this is one of the best Resident Evils I've ever played. And then I felt the same way when I played this one. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. I think it's definitely worth your time.
Mm-hmm.
The Metacritic for the PS5 version is
2 out of 2 for all the people who want a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. PS5 is a 84 and PS4 is an 81.
Okay, so we're skewing a little higher than the average.
Yeah.
Well, because we're real game reviewers.
We're real gamers.
People
You
didn't
got to
like
say it. Does that make you feel good?
No.
people didn't like the puzzles and they didn't like the boss fights.
Weak.
I thought the boss fights were cool.
Yeah,
Whatever.
they're fun. I thought they were fun too.
And they didn't like that it was more actiony. Some people kind of didn't like that, which I was like, it's stupid because
I have nothing to really compare it to, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not as actiony as like 4, and from what I played at 5, it's not as actiony as 5. So like, if they're like, again, if they're saying 4 is their favorite game, they're fucking idiots. Like,
Yeah.
they're just not.
I think it's dumb, but I think it's a great game. So if you guys haven't played it yet, I
Yeah,
think
if you want to
should.
play a really good zombie game, that's better than Last of Us 2. Play this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only like 12 zombies that you kill. It's just the dudes
Yeah.
coming out of the ground.
If you would like to kill fantasy creatures and 9-foot-tall women,
Which is the greatest regret of this game.
having to put her down.
Yeah. I cried a little bit when I was like at the rifle.
Would you guys? How long did it take you guys to do that puzzle with the fucking bells?
Which one was the bell one?
oh,
Not that long.
the one outside, I couldn't find it. I had to look it up. The
Less
one
than 10
outside
minutes.
the window. did
Took
not.
me a long.
Oh,
time.
dude, same. I was like, I had to run outside. I was like, ran outside. I'm like, is there one like on the door coming in? Like, this is fucking bullshit. And I had to keep going.
The puzzle I had the most trouble with, I think, was the one with the 4 statues and like the pool of blood. You had to like rotate the statues
That one wasn't
to
too bad.
like face the right. Yeah.
I just accidentally faced them the right way. I just
yeah.
fucked around with it.
I
until
don't
did
even
it.
remember that, so it must not have been.
It's the one that goes into the catacombs where the blood drains and the stairs goes underneath. The castle.
Oh, I think I might have guessed on that one too.
I
was just like
randomly
fucking with shit.
It's like I saw the note outside, but I didn't remember what it said.
Yeah. Oh, I did that in the Resident Evil 2 remake too. I like got to a locked locker and I was just like, I threw a number out and I got it and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I was like, man, I'm gonna try that again, and then
It's
I
like
never
a
worked.
1 in 900 chance.
It's like 314 looks good, and then it opened. I was like, oh, cool. It's supposed to be my locker.
Well, maybe you saw the
It must
note,
be
just
mine.
like subconsciously.
Yeah.
the number.
Oh.
Because they're like they're around the room. Yeah, if you look at random stuff, you can see the code for it.
I was internalizing my code memorization.
It's like your racism.
Oh, did you like the one where you were in the house and you had to like look at the window the certain way and like you could see the numbers? Like there was a number on this wall, there was a number out there,
You not
and then
do
there
that
was
one?
the number in the door frame. That's when you get the upgraded pistol that also uses the 9mm ammo, even though that's a 45.
I think I was probably following a guide for that one.
Oh.
So you well, with that one, you go up to the window, and this is one of the werewolves jumps into the window. Like, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
That was probably the first time it scared me. Yeah.
Any of the ones with the numbers, I had to look up. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an angle you had to look at.
I don't think I'm not trying to like bash or anything. Like, I'm sorry, but like I feel like this one with the numbers was a lot easier than the other ones. Like with like 2 and like 3 and stuff. I feel like this one was like they did purpose. They did it. So like I'm not trying.
Maybe that's why people were like saying the puzzles were lame.
I was
They
in
were
a
easy.
hurry, Zach.
I'm not
I had to beat
trying to
this
beat that.
game
I'm
in
just
like
saying, like,
4 days.
Out of playing, really?
Yeah, 4 days of gameplay.
I mean, I think I only played it in like 3 or 4 settings.
I had to spread mine out because
Sittings.
of work. So
But I was definitely like, okay, I'm not fucking around with this puzzle.
right. No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
But then sometimes I was like, well, I'll fuck around with this because it was fun. It was
Yeah.
a fun game.
Yeah. So there it is, guys.
Yep. Guys, thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Check the Discord and the Hagib and our Twitters and all that. That's all in the description below.
we have a Patreon. Toss a coin to your podcasters.
We do. This is the first time we've had a 2-hour episode in a little while.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Sorry.
Live always in the nude.
I just want Lady D to sit on my face.
Walk with your 8-foot vampire, Dommy Mommy held high.
Fuck off.